What's up, everybody? Tune in. So, I'm actually going to be multitasking. So, you're more than welcome to come hang out. I'll be back and forth in between the screen and the other stuff I'm doing. So, we're going to get these watch hours. We're going to relax until we are back on the algorithm that we need to be on. And it's really that simple. I hope everybody's having a lovely dawn or rising. Let's go. I always gotta move stuff around when it's cooler, like all around cooler. I just feel, I don't know, something about my energy. I just feel better when I do things in the time, like that actually everything is still outside, and it just gives you more time to think and relax too, if you ask me. So let me get this stuff going. Move this out of the way. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. What is that? Oh, absolutely not. Hello, Dan. How are you, sweetie? What's up, y'all? Hi there, little wind. How are you, sweetie? It is going to be a beautiful day. I have quite a few things I have to do today, so just to give myself some clarity, I don't feel like being on camera and being distracted, so I'm going to be multitasking so I get more done. If you get it, you get it. Tune in. We're gonna go live until we get on the algorithm we're supposed to be on. I try to tell a lot of people that the tethers and different people who come on YouTube and different platforms, most of the time the algorithm already knows what type of people they are, what type of people they attract, and those are usually the type of people a lot of people actually want to attract. If you do not want to attract a certain level of person, a lot of times you have to be okay with the algorithm not recommending you, not doing certain things. You have to let the ether work for you. And because I'm not looking for a bunch of fake minions and, disrespectful people, fake cults acting like adults, okay, pretending to be adults, I let the algorithm do what it needs to. I channel when I want, and that's how it goes. A lot of people are not channeling, they're simply trying to not be the weakest link. But a lot of times it lets you know how much more advanced you are than the people they're choosing, because the people they're choosing have no substance, have no culture, and everything else. They're just choosing them because they are happy, honestly, pretending that love is blind, and it's not. It's very direct, it's very intentional. So, you guys are welcome to come chat with me. And again, we're going to talk about quite a few things in and out. It doesn't necessarily have to pertain to you. If you want to chill and kick it, you are welcome to. I just feel like certain conversations, for some people, they hold more weight than others. So, yeah, you're welcome to come in. Let us know how you're doing. If you have any topics you want us to discuss, more than welcome. And again, no kids, no children, no kids, please. All right. Hi, Ricardo. A lot of your messages, I do apologize, but I don't see a lot of y'all's messages unless I pull up my phone. I don't know why it doesn't show on here on my actual computer. It's so weird. Y'all can let me know why the algorithm does that, but if I don't have my mobile YouTube pulled up, like if you say hi or different things in the chat, it just does not show it. And I'm like, why does it show it on my phone but not on my actual computer? That is wild to me. quite expected. Quite expected though. How is everybody doing? Tune in. Tune in. I have something very special for those of you who follow me later, because I just want to. So you never know where your blessings come from. And because of that, sometimes you just have to interact with people who enjoy interaction and not for selfish reasons. Because again, I enjoy being blessed and loved and thought about the way I am. And there's a lot of people who their life, their view of themselves and different things is only tarnished because a lot of times the algorithm or life itself, it leads you to people who are not really for you, who are not genuine supporters of you, your craft, your thoughts. So I tend to bridge the gap and bless as many people as I can. So you're welcome to stay tuned because it may be you that get blessed. So if you have a Zelle account, PayPal, Cash App, whatever it is that you have, tune in. In a little bit, you'll be able to drop it in the chat, and we're going to pick 5 people and bless you today. That is what we're going to do. And guess what? I don't have to know who you are, anything like that. If you have good intentions, that is awesome. But if you receive with bad intentions, looking to be spiteful, karma absolutely deals with people like that. You'd be surprised how many people want people that they hate and are jealous of to bless them. And sadly, that's why a lot of people have family issues and things like that. You can't play both sides. You have to be a genuine lover and supporter of the people you claim are your people too. Even if your circle is small, tiny, like a little bitty dot, you're still supposed to go hard supporting that little bitty dot of people than anybody else because those are your people, and do that. And again, I think what a lot of people call support or supporting each other is plagiarism, mimicking, pretending to act like other people. We're not here to play games. When you are blessed for real, when you are abundant, you don't have time for games because you are not on demon time. People on demon time, a lot of times, they are the main people who sit around and pretend that the world is here to entertain you. The world is not here to entertain you. It's here to distract you from something that is pretending to entertain you. So again, if you don't like the pretend and all of that, you're welcome to come. And I don't care if you're talented, things like that. I feel like people who actually appreciate life, they're the main people who are going to appreciate your talents regardless of what it is. So yeah, be open to letting the universe guide you to your people. Ah, what's up? How are you, Elvali? What's up, Callie? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys are doing well. I will actually be going to Cali in a couple months, so I look forward to it. It's business, but hey, I feel like if you ever get a chance to do business and mix a little bit of pleasure in as far as going to historical sites and different things like that, most of the time when I go out of town, I spend a lot of time collecting different items and historical things that have value to me. That honestly, the earth is about making extinct. So if you ever travel, always collect different elements from nature. A lot of those things are resources that are literally going extinct. What's up, Ricardo? That's my uncle's name too. I feel like every Hispanic person has a Ricardo in their family, and probably black people too, but I know on my Hispanic side, that's where all the Ricardos are. Shout out to you, Ricardo. Dun, dun, dun. What's up, guys? What y'all doing this early in the AM? How are you doing? And for those of you who are my regulars here, you are more than welcome to let me know if you would like to do a mantra for this lovely dawn. My mantras are not very long, but they are very effective. Why? Because it's not about how long you do things, it's about the quality of what you're doing. So If you would like to do mantras with me later, just let me know and we'll get to it. As I do enjoy it, I do. And for a lot of people, meditation is not always their biggest go-to, but it definitely helps you in ways for people who are not really prepared for meditation or don't have the environments to kind of just chill back and get in that mode to do your meditations. It's common. You'd be surprised. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, Ricardo, Shannon, Dan. I appreciate you. Tune in. A lot of times it be sketchy when I see like people's names, but they have like dash XGWR2. Like I'd be like, are you a robot or something? But it's so funny because those are the people who usually come in and actually speak. That is so wild. It is so wild. But I appreciate you tuning in, regardless of who you are. Regardless of who you are. Let me move this out of the way. And y'all are going to hear my kitty in the background. I have to put her up because if I don't put her up while I'm trying to clean and stuff, she'll be putting her paw in all of the cleaning products. And yeah, I just would rather her not do that. Y'all know how pets are. Some of our pets really do feel like they are your babies, your children. So I have to make sure my cat isn't like doing toddler things. All right, let's pull this up here. Oh, absolutely not. Oh, that's nice. All right. And I first want the people who come in here and you are a little newer, I want you to understand that a lot of people come here just to have something to go make content about. And a lot of that stuff that people have been coming here for is behind a paywall they cannot afford. And not only that, again, certain things are not for your tethers and your snakes and your fakes. So for the people who are indigenous to my roots, I make sure that they can get their indigenous information without the losers and people who do want to line you up actually trying to stand in your way. So if you're wondering why I only talk about certain things on here now or why certain videos are in a higher tier, it's simply because you have to make sure you're covering your grounds and you cannot give lower level demons proximity. Again, a lot of people, all they need is the proximity. If you do not give it to them, they pretty much spend their existence pretending or trying to mimic what they think you're talking about or doing. Again, if they don't know what's going on, most of them are going to be talking about subjects that have nothing to do with divinity, that have nothing to do with self-respect, and many other things. And because I just have more positive things going on in my life, that's where I rest. Okay, that's where I rest. I feel like a lot of people kind of tire themselves out because they like to talk about issues that are like political and they just carry a lot of weight, but it's really not your personal weight to carry. That's why I'm very cautious about who I support on any platform, even though I'm not on hardly anything but YouTube, maybe email. But yeah, I have to be very cautious about who I support because I feel like if you support the wrong energies and those heavy energies full of hate type of people, eventually you're going to become someone just like that too. And that's how people are going to be receiving your energies. So yeah, I never have that type of, mindset when it comes to anything. Never. And if I ever need peace and space of mind, I give myself that because again, a lot of people who are on YouTube, I think they forget that most of the people watching you, they're plotting on you. They don't actually like you.
This is why a lot of people have lots of people watching them, nobody liking it, nobody, speaking positively, just trolls and bots. Who really needs that when you are somebody who is focused and steadfast? I feel like that's just asking to be distracted on purpose, and that's not what you really are looking for. So I'm always grateful. You'd be surprised the people that come. I don't care if it's 3 people, 5 people, 13 people. The people who actually hear you, okay, understand what you're talking about, they're going to come regardless because it's not too many people who actually understand them. Okay, I'm okay with people disregarding me or this isn't exciting, or a lot of people only go to the stuff they want to hear, and that's the real reason why a lot of people are stuck. Not to mention the people who hear the truth and still want to mix their lies with somebody else's truth. Those are the main people who have the hardest times, honestly, on YouTube and other places. And the people who have the easiest time on YouTube are really the people that the algorithm and the people behind the algorithm know they will set you back. So, in other words, they're showing you people who are going to make you come out of your pocket, okay, but they could never do the same, okay, type of issues. They want to be in your space and, get clout off of talking to you, with you, about you. But most of them couldn't, have a conversation about themselves and actually hold attention in the room to save their lives. That's why I say if I deal with people, I make sure it's people I'm actually cool with, interested in, I can support. Um, Jealousy is strong in a lot of people, in almost everyone. And again, different people, it takes different levels of your success or happiness to bring out envy. It's not always jealousy. People who are jealous, they probably have been jealous their whole lives. Whether it's you went to college, I didn't, whether it's, you have a car, I don't. A lot of the things they're jealous about are physical, and the things that are spiritual, people who actually are empaths and have sensitivity meters that are really high, you're going to understand that their anger and things like that, it is a shield to not be hurt again. Okay? Who wants to be hurt? A lot of people tolerate it, but most people don't really want to be hurt like that. So if you don't want to be hurt, I suggest listening to people who don't allow pain to run their life. Even when it comes to making music, whatever it is that you do, I feel like I try not to focus on things that emphasize my pain meter. Okay? There's one thing when people want you to tap into pain, a lot of those people also want you to tap into depression. It is what it is. Because the pain of life, the pain of healing, and so many other things, oh goodness, they come with its own work as it is. So, yeah, y'all let me know what you think about that. Because that is exactly how it usually comes off, at least to people who understand you're battling frequencies, not necessarily people. And I think it's beautiful when you can actually understand who you're up against and that most of them are no competition. And the algorithm or whatever you use is absolutely pretending that certain people who are no competition in real life are the people giving you competition through a black mirror, which is why it's usually so funny that people who get fake attention off of social media, they cannot accept if you get just a little bit of attention off of your actual truth, because not everybody is a content creator. Some people are just interacting with their tribes and communities. Um, I wanted to talk to you guys about the fact that if you understood the algorithm is based on gematria, and a lot of times they are putting you with people who are your equal opposites, which is why a lot of people don't get traction on their channels. Believe it or not, a lot of the people that get traction on their channels, they have all type of pedophiles watching them in other countries. They have all types of just different people who are watching them, and that's it. You'll be surprised. It could be 400 people in a chat, only 20 people are talking. Okay, a lot of these people are literally setting themselves up to be in a situation where they can't even point out who did what and why to them. Okay? Imagine being so, wanting to be so glamorized in a fake way to strangers. You forget that Jeffrey Dahmers and, you know, bad people actually exist. Okay? People who are traffickers. And imagine wanting to be seen so bad that you forget nobody really cares what you think you look like or what you think you're about. Most people are going to satisfy whatever it is that keeps their time and money flowing. And sadly, it's so sad when you see a lot of women forget that this is why women came from brothels and different things, because all they do is advertise Smex. Okay, they say Smex sells. Yeah, it does for prostitutes. So if you're not someone who wants to be a prostitute, you want to be respected for your wisdom, your intellect, your psyche, you can focus on health and beauty all you want at home. But when you present to the world already sees you as nothing but something to screw on. I don't care who you think you are. After a while, most men literally say, oh, it's just my turn. Most women say, it's just my turn. So if you understood that, getting passed around or thinking that you have the privilege of getting passed around is exactly why when those high value people come into your life, they don't choose you, because they're feeling all the low level energy you've been connecting with just because you think you have a privilege. Fucked on privilege is not the same as let me take you to places that people who just want smecks cannot take you. And a lot of times when you get to that point, you start realizing why so many women seem like, well, you seem pretty, you went to college, you start putting things together that makes sense. You're ran through, you have too many bodies, you have spirits on you. And a lot of men may not say anything, a lot of women may not say anything, they just ghost you. Okay, sadly, a lot of people, you have to ghost them when they don't realize that they are the problem. You don't have to explain it to them. Past a certain age, most people know what they're doing. They know how they're doing it, they know why they're doing it. So you have to understand, if that is not what you want for yourself, if you do not want the perception of how that person is seen, there's no reason for you to even engage in explaining to them. They know this is who they are. Okay. I think it's strange when people be trying to explain to people stuff they know about themselves. They know if they're a hater. Okay, they know if they a freak and will sleep with anybody. Okay, they know if they steal at everybody's house they go to. Okay, let them do them. Okay, they gonna steal from the wrong person, you gonna see them on the news. Okay, they gonna sleep with the wrong person and give them a disease or catch one, they gonna be on here crying about how they caught something they can't get rid of. Let people do them. Okay, I think the biggest problem for people like myself is how people want to do themselves pretending to be you. Okay, in other words, I can act like you, talk about what you talk about. It becomes a, you have no quality of thought. If you did, your quality of thoughts would not be in somebody else's mind that make you feel like they're sparking your intellect. They're not. A lot of times, what you spark in people is their envy. Okay, what you spark in them is their non-creative passion. In other words, if I just follow you, I can get the praise and respect and admiration you get, but it's always short-lived. It's always short-lived, because usually the type of people they are doesn't add up to what they begin talking about. Okay, look at all the beauty contenters who are like, oh, I talk about God now. You weren't thinking about God when you were on here trying to be vain for the attention of people who probably just want to put you on a track. Okay, I watch how people really do allow themselves to not grow up and mature into adultdom. And like I tell people, for most people who claim to be adults or grown, what they consider being grown is the ability to do whatever they want and can't nobody tell them shit. But that's also why the bonds of communication between all races, all people, all ethnicities is ruined. Okay, sadly, for a lot of people, the only people you're making connections with are people who have never stepped foot in your country and probably never will. And that's sad when you realize that the algorithm has a harder time connecting you to your own people, because they want to connect to other people who don't even like them. I accept it. The reason why I accept it is because I understand how dangerous the internet really is. And if you really have something to lose, you're not mad because they're not giving you 500 people in a live stream. Honestly, I'm glad, because that means that's less bots and trolls and set up queens and everybody else that you have to deal with. Believe it or not, a lot of those people who are always on live stream, most of them are talking to their haters, not their friends. And that's why I kind of stop myself at a certain point, because you understand when people just want to be in your vicinity. It doesn't matter for what or why, but a lot of times it's because they don't have anything going on in their own vicinity. And people who don't have anything going on in their real lives, they're dangerous to everything in your creativity, your passions, your spirit, your mood. Look at how many people have time to go through live streams of just being disrespectful, being ignorant. It's their passion. Okay, being ignorant is a lot of people's passion, and they are passionate about their ignorance. They are passionate about their ignorance, okay? The only thing that makes a lot of people less passionate is when you have to call them out, like, look, um, I'm not in your lane. I don't do what you do. I don't want to do what you do. So why are you trying to do me? Okay, like I said, past that point, I feel like there are people who have that issue, meaning people mimic you and copy you. And then I feel there's those people who they are the people pleaser. So they still can't admit that the reason why people in the world do you a certain way is because you're a people pleaser. Okay, you can't please people, and you definitely can't please everybody. So past a certain point, I love the fact that I got out of stupid stuff like trying to please people, trying to be nice everywhere I go. I got out of that years ago, because it starts attracting people who like pain, like to inflict pain. When people see you happy, there's something called pain meter, okay? And if you are a particular skin tone, okay, I don't care if you're white, if you are on a more tannish side naturally of white, a lot of people don't want to see you happy. Okay, if you're Hispanic, if you're Asian, if you're whatever you are, a lot of people do not want to see you particularly happy, because the overall, okay, the overall mask that has been placed on you is something that you can take off and not have to hide behind it. Okay, that's why everything is not just about skin tone or about, hair and nails. A lot of people have all that stuff done, and they can't attract a damn thing. Okay, nothing but problems, nothing but cuddy buddies, and nobody but somebody who can pay a phone bill, and the things you should be able to do yourself. Okay, I said what I said, things you should be able to do yourself. So stay tuned, because a little later we're going to be talking about some subjects that I think most people need to hear, but they really need to focus on and see where they fall in the meter of, is that me? Is that the people around me? Are those my parents? Do my parents act like that? Do they talk like that? Do they dress like this? And again, as adults, I feel like adults go from, okay, I was once a child, to now I can do whatever I want. But when I look at adults a lot of time who say, I'm grown, I can do what I want, I notice that they're childish. Like the type of childish you would be like, your only friends must be teenagers, or that's who you are looking to attract, because as an adult you have more responsibilities than teenagers and kids. So I do look at people differently when they're like, oh, I collect toys and I love Marvel and anime, my whole life is anime. And no, I know that they are usually child collectors and things like that. Okay, because past a certain age, money does not money in a way for you to be childish. Okay, think about that. And a lot of people are waiting for childish people who you're never going to be good enough for, because it is someone who doesn't have understanding and wisdom and different things that they want. And this is why men always tell you to play dumb. Okay, and women who are dumb also tell you to play dumb to get what you want, which is hilarious, because playing dumb gets you deleted. Okay, pretending you don't understand what's going on around you will absolutely get you deleted. Nobody is going to go along with, oh, I won't bother you because you seem like you act just like us. No one believes that. The more you act like certain people or pretend their behavior is acceptable, the more likely you are to attract people just like that, and you will be fighting tooth and nail to prove that you're not like that. And I don't care what nobody says. When you get to having to overprove that you're not like other people, honey, the pressure is up. Okay, your blood pressure gonna be high all week, screaming, yelling, angry. Why? Because you're trying to prove something that you don't have to. Okay, remove yourself. A lot of times just removing yourself is enough to make people have to find new victims. When people feel like, a lot of people think not saying anything is enough to keep them safe. In other words, if I don't talk about these issues, if I don't talk about politics, if I don't talk about crime, if I don't talk about fake beauty, whatever it is that's popular, a lot of people feel like if they don't talk about it, it can't touch them, or people who are like that won't attract to you. Oh, I beg to differ. When they say opposites attract, it's because your demons are always attracted to what they cannot produce in energy themselves. So, sadly to tell you, most people really do believe you are what you eat. And most of the people they want to eat are you. Okay, they don't care how good you cook. They just want the attention you get from men. They just want the attention you get from your besties. Okay, they just want to see what's in your closet. Okay, you have to really realize people do not care about you the way they pretend to. And once you start understanding that, be more cautious about who you talk to. I don't care if it's just a short story from your past. Guess what? I don't care if you have to lie. They be like, "Oh, are you from here?" Tell them, yeah, okay? Yeah, I'm from here. I've been here my whole life, okay? Protect yourself. Demons love when you lie with them, not just sleeping in the bed with them. They love when you lie with them because most of them know you're lying. When you're from certain places, you have certain energy. And the people who have different energy than those places, I don't care if it's your hometown, you have to move around. Okay, I don't care if that's your hometown for 20, 30, 40 years. By the time you get old enough to understand why most people are stuck where you are, guess what? Guess what? You have to move. Okay, and when you come back, all those people who would have been in your way, they still gonna be there. Oh, thank you so much for the gift, sweetie. I don't know why it's not showing up on my regular page. Who sent that? Krista God. Thank you, baby. Sent me a royal crown. I appreciate you, sweetheart. I do, I do. Thank you so kindly. I love when people bless you just because. That's why I never really ask for anything. I feel like a lot of people, the things they're needing are real human interactions with people who are going through real life stuff, not pretending that life is perfect and everything is about being unbothered. No, life is not about pretending your emotions. If you have to pretend your emotions your whole life, you are going to be the person that most people have to fear as you age because you've never really expressed yourself. And by the time your real expression come out, everybody's going to be like, she said what? He did what? Okay? I don't care what nobody says. If you are smart enough, you will roam the places where you can be yourself. And if the type of self you are is reckless and rude, disrespectful, boisterous, flashy, you need to be somewhere where you can be all of those things without making yourself a target. And I don't know what places you're going to go to that you're not going to be a target, but that's why I'm humble. I don't care if I'm walking around with $20,000, okay? I'm still going to act like all I got is 200. So when I get to the counter and they be like, yeah, but they got a cheaper one over there. Oh no, baby, that's fine. I want this one. Okay. Do you want the protection plan? Do you want the? Okay. A lot of times your money talks for you. Most people who work at a lot of the places you go to, they can't afford half the shit in there. I don't care if it's the gas station, things like that. When I was younger, I remember I tried working in a gas station. And when I realized that working in gas stations is the easiest way for men and women alike to deal with crimes that are never solved, meaning gas stations get robbed all the time, and they usually unalive the clerks. And it happened to me when I was working at a gas station. And I was so shocked at how many people live off of convenience stores. At that point, I was like, this is crazy because it was the amount of money they were spending just in this one store. Like, people go to certain stores, they be there breakfast, lunch, dinner, wee hours, whatever time, okay, spending money, whether it's cigarettes, whether it's a Red Bull, whether it's chips and a pizza. I was so shocked at how many people rely on convenience stores for everything. And I also had to take into consideration it's because a lot of those people did not want to interact with more people. They didn't want to go to Walmart. They didn't want to go to Costco and Sam's Club. They didn't want to go to the farmer's market. Okay, after a while, most people who are losers, they like to hang out in places where they know people with money are. This is why low life people, Shira Sevens, people who listen to people like this, they don't understand. People with money already know you try to find where we hang out at. So you can come pretend you hang out in these places too. But you're the only one there who usually can't spend no money. You walking around the store for 2 hours, ain't got shit in your basket. After a while, we know you looking for something. And most of us don't want to be the things you're looking for. So after a while, the best thing you could ever learn how to do is be humble. So if it ever should come a time where you don't have to be, you can be so respectfully unhumble that the people who even taunted you with their unhumbleness will have to turn and go a different direction. Okay? And a lot of time, money talks. And when you let your money talk for you, you know what else happens? Those people start looking for revenge. And people who don't have shit, their whole life, they wake up, eat, sleep, breathe, go to the bathroom, revenge on you. Okay, revenge on you. It don't matter if they walking around the farmer's market and they like, oh, my car, I just need a little gas for my car. Would you be able? It doesn't matter. Okay, they say ask and you shall receive, but a lot of people, the reason why they don't receive is because they are being con artists. A lot of these people are blessed beyond measure. They're not homeless. They not missing no meals. They got their lashes done, their nails done, kids dressed to impress. A lot of them just want your extra hard work because they're not willing to do it. A lot of them are still going by the meter that somebody told them. I have a privilege, and that privilege is getting whatever I want and begging and hands always out. That is absolutely going to get you deleted. And I hate to say this, when I was working in the strip club, most of the girls who worked in the strip club, I had to hurry up and get away from because I realized all of them were selling their asses. Almost all of them had a pimp, and a lot of them are old hoes who will honestly follow you home and do stuff to you, or the men they want to please who are low-level nobodies. They're the men who will come snatch you up and have you selling yourself, and they get all the money. And that girl is somewhere laughing because she knows for the next 5-10 years, if you're not able to escape, they're going to put you on drugs. They're going to do whatever they need to so that you make her some money because her man is too weak to boss her up. Okay, or she doesn't have the qualities he feels is worth making money off of. Again, most men want to make money off of your box. Okay, and if he doesn't want you to make money, okay, legally in a certain way, he's going to be the main person trying to show off your box and the fact that he thinks he's special because he's the one getting it, when really he's the one who's blocking your path. Real definition of most women I meet, especially the ones who brag about their relationships, most of them are sleeping with their enemies. And when I say sleeping with their enemies, oh, you know they're their enemies. Okay, they go around. A lot of these people who be like, y'all, look how my man look at me. Look at this, look at that. Girl, if you was to see them in person, that nigga don't even look. Okay, she could call him 20 times and he's still gonna be like, in a minute. Okay, these are the same people. This is why they come to social media, to get fake validation. Because in real life, nobody wants you to see how generous and loving your man is to you, because there's more women and men, okay, notice I said both genders, who would like to take what you have away, even if what is taken away from you doesn't want them and will never want them. They still just don't want you to have it. So past a certain point, I always ask people, what are you here to show off? What are you trying to prove to yourself? Okay? And I feel like a lot of times it's just vanity. I can prove this, I can prove that. But when they cut this live stream off, most of those people can't order nothing on DoorDash. Most of those people can't even go put $50 in their car for gas of their own. Okay, they finna go smoke weed with somebody just because that person said, I'll give you 20 in gas. But they giving you 20 in gas because they want to take you to Pound Town and then kick you out when you're done, and you'll be at home acting like you're digmatized while they're somewhere like, who's next? It's embarrassing when you have to explain to women and men alike, and sadly men really do think it's different from them. Men know that they're being used as a hoe. Okay, for a lot of women, I don't think they understand. The ones who do, they hate pure women. In other words, if you ain't spent your whole life getting ran through, it don't matter what you look like. You could look like a model, you could look like Vanessa Williams, hell, you could look like Harriet Tubman. I don't give a damn. Women know in their spirit. Women are just like men. They can smell you. They smell your aura. Okay, and women know when you are more innocent and you have not been tampered with a lot. Okay, if at all, they know because you are the ones they want to act like, because a lot of them want to attract perverts. Okay, this is why some of them be like, girl, I ain't never weighed more than 120 pounds. Oh my God. Yep, and you've also never attracted what you claim your weight and your privilege attracts either. Okay, if y'all knew how many men will go get with a big woman or a big guy and actually work with that guy to get to their health goals together, okay, before they will choose a ran through person who thinks their looks is enough, you will be lying to yourself. You would be lying to yourself. This is the main reason why people like Lizzo and other people even exist. Okay, if you ever watched The Parkers, okay, have you ever heard of Countess? Okay, if you heard of Countess, you would understand why people like Countess exist, because they are always seen as the bubbly, cute, attractive, smart, have to play dumb, because nobody likes to see smart, bubbly, intelligent women. I don't care about the race. Nobody likes to see that on anybody who's a woman, especially if you still have your youth. So the fact that so many people, men and women alike, are in their youth listening to older people who have squandered their youth, you have to understand, even the older generations are repeating you right now. Okay, they come in your spaces, they don't hit the like button, they don't say good morning, they don't speak. They are only there to seem like they are relevant and talking about what young people are talking about. Because to them, they'll go to a man who's 56 and be like, well, you know, I'm 41. Whole time she 47 her damn self. Okay, this is what people are doing. This is why Sheer 7 and people like that, they come online and let you know they gonna be hoeing till the day they die. Okay, it ain't no pretty privilege. It ain't no, oh, sprinkle sprinkle. It's brokey brokey. Okay, because if you wasn't brokey brokey, you could get your old ass offline and live the life. I said what I said, but needing to control your light, needing to control your youth, leading you to people who are going to have you looking 60 by the time you're 33. Okay, that is what they're leading you to. And while you're looking old and raggedy and crying about the boyfriend effect and boyfriends are embarrassing, okay, they somewhere living their best life waiting for the guy who dumped you to find them so they can be a sugar mama and this and that. Most of these women who talk about men and getting money and things from men, they are sugar mamas, honey, for a little bit of dick. Okay, just to get pounded from time to time and feel seen and youthful again. Okay, they are destroying your relationships. If they couldn't destroy them enough in your youth, okay, most of your parents didn't prepare you for relationships. Everybody else, their families are preparing them for the world and not being alone in it. Okay, so you can't fault the world for what your parents know they are not setting you up for. And it's success, it's good health, okay, it's stability financially, okay, first before anything. When you are financially stable, bullshit doesn't sit in your presence the same way. Okay, if I know I have enough money to go do this and that and go get my own place and disappear, you ain't finna talk to me any kind of way. Okay, I'm not gonna beg you for money. I'm not gonna do none of that shit. It's the people who are pretending they can do that but can't, who are the main ones talking to you about what they can't do. Okay, they can't leave a low down nigga. This is why people who are desperate will say shit like, "Girl, let that man cheat." Yeah, let him cheat while you take your bands and go get a place of freedom. Okay, people who can't do that, they're willing to put up with anything and then say, "Girl power, I flexed." What are you doing? You're wasting your own time with somebody who lets you know they don't even find your time valuable enough to treat you respectfully. That is ignorance. And again, a lot of these people like to call themselves witches. Well, why your ass can't conjure up some money so you don't have to pretend you're a fake evil when you're just a streetwalker? Okay, most of these people were streetwalkers who got old, and the young hoes took their clients. So they're online doing the same thing. What did I tell y'all about people? When they feel like you take attention from them, if they feel like you're getting money that they need and they feel they deserve more than you, the main thing they want to do is take your attention and pretty much keep you distracted while they keep fighting towards what they know you want, whether it's success, whether it is a man or woman who treats you a certain way, whether it is just somebody to enjoy your life with, a good family partner. They know what you want. Okay, this is how they get online and be like, well, this is how you get it. Well, how you don't got that? Okay, so I want to talk about something. People who are losers and people who are fake and liars, even to themselves, always say things like looks don't matter. Okay, but I want you to understand and look at why people are talking about Cardi B. Cardi B is ugly. Okay, I don't care what y'all think about Cardi B. All you got to do is look at Cardi B before she got her ugly ass on the table, because that will always be the Cardi B I see. I don't care how she's seen in other places. Okay, you will always be the girl who knew she was ugly and knew you needed some work done to talk shit to the bitches you didn't like. And this is how most people really are. Okay, this is why a lot of people like Cardi B, because she ain't ugly no more. That's how I'm gonna be. They think I'm ugly. A lot of people like people they act just like. But if you was ugly before and you never get real confidence, everything you do you're gonna ruin with your low self-esteem. And that's what Cardi B keeps proving. She's trying to climb the ladder of beauty and relevancy and trying to make other women jealous. Whole time, a lot of people never looked at you until you got a certain amount of money, until you changed your features, your real natural features. And after a while, when people realize who you are, they start doing their research, they start understanding who you are in vanity. Okay, I don't care what y'all say. Imagine trying to talk shit to somebody who the world doesn't even know is still making music. Let me break this down. Let me talk to you about jealous women and how they think their looks pertain to them being what they are. And a lot of people hate when I talk about it, but I can't, because I'm not the one pretending to be Puerto Rican or a national of America. It's always the people from Trinidad and other places, Dominican Republic, who come to America and pretend they are our standard when all they can do is get like us and how we do it, okay, or try to, a low level version. So let's talk about it. If you were ugly, okay, and like I said, ugly privilege is real too. Sometimes people put you on because they feel like, well, you could never be competition. And that is how Cardi B got on. She got on because she was the ugly bitch nobody took serious. Okay? But she was willing to do some grimy things to make them take her serious. And that is exactly what she did. Which is why when you call the truth out, you're ugly, ma'am. I don't care how many surgeries you get. Your spirit is ugly. That's why you keep trying to change your outside again. But you have to understand, a lot of these people are not biological women. They are people who are literally transgendered. Not only are they transgendered, when I was doing professional makeup for people, Asian Doll, okay, Coil Ray, these are niggas in drag. These are boys, and y'all call them women. Okay, you have been around women a long time. You know what pussy looks like. You know how it sits. I don't care how skinny. When you get through, you know what women's bodies look like. So to actually work with artists and realize they're men in drag, I was so hurt as a woman. As a biological woman, I was so hurt, because there are women who look better than you, more talented than you, have better attitudes and spirits than you, but they choose people like you because you have the gay gene. In other words, you want to be something you're not so bad. You're willing to shit on everybody, including your real self, just to take their place. And even after you take their place, you get treated like those women in the worst, lower ways. So when it comes to people like Cardi B, most of them are competing with people who are 20 years younger than them, and they're pretending that they're in their 20s and 30s. And they're not. These people been hit 40. They've been hit 40. Okay, nobody in their real youth, unless you have had like burn marks and different things and really bad discoloration from acne, nobody's really going to do professional work on themselves like that in their youth. Okay, these people are not in their youth. They're not getting mommy makeovers. Okay, you would literally have to wait a year and all this other stuff to even get on a table and get some of these surgeries, especially if you're quote unquote having kids. They will not let you have kids and immediately get your ass on an operation table. The fact that so many women and men be pretending they're looking at biological women, they know they're not. And they know they're not because they had to take the pronouns and say, I go by her and she. Well, if you was a biological woman, you wouldn't have to tell us that. It's the fact that there's so many low-life people claiming shit they're not because they want the status of things they'll never be. So if you have somebody who's dressing up in drag and saying, oh, I'm a mother, bitch, you ain't no mother, you got a dick. It's no different than T.S. Madison and other people. I've been talking about these people forever. Why? Because they always try to find the likeness of a black woman or a woman who actually exists. And that's one reason why I highly dislike people like Cardi B, because they're talentless, low level, low vibrational birds who are still stuck on, you had more than me, but look what I got now. And it still ain't enough to make people like you. It still ain't enough to stop you from getting ran through. Okay, imagine Cardi B moving like Cardi B and pretending to the world she's seen like Eve. You're not, nobody looks at you and sees Eve, because if you were, you would be somewhere put up, taken care of, and out of the way. You can't do that when the niggas you fuck with and yourself really ain't got no money. Real definition of, if you got it, your life is going to display, because you're not a coon, you're not a minstrel. People who need to be seen all the time, they want to be seen because nobody ever looked at them. Like I tell people, I don't care who follows you. I don't care who copies you. People like Cardi B copy people like me. They also don't speak Spanish, which is why I turn them down. Because how is your whole image? You can hardly speak English so good because I'm just so fucking Latina and you with the... But you don't speak Spanish. Your kids don't speak Spanish. You can't teach them Spanish. So if your kids are your kids, what the fuck you mean my kids don't know Spanish because they don't got nobody to teach them? Bitch, all my kids gonna know Spanish. And they gonna learn it from me. Who else they gonna learn it from? It's because she don't speak it. Okay, if you go look at her little Vogue interviews and shit, you could tell they practiced that shit so many times, and you still ain't comfortable with your lie. And this is why she's still pushing the narrative of, I gotta skin bleach, I gotta do this, you wouldn't have to skin bleach if you were who you say you were in nationality. But that's why they hate people like me, because I am a black American and a Puerto Rican. Okay, so imagine when they realize we are the people who are from here. We are the Tainos. You're not. So to come here and pretend you want the indigenous of this land to worship you when you're the foreigner, and you want to act like us or pretend you have the indigenous talents and communication skills, and you don't. But that's why a lot of people don't understand your image is trashy, because men in drag pretending to be women are the ones trashing it so that men don't want you. Okay, it don't matter if they don't want them either. They just don't want them to want you. And while they're not wanting you and you're having relationship issues and gender wars, what they're not telling you is they are the basis of that gender war, which is why while you're beefing and alone and trying to enjoy your meals and your family or whatever you're doing, they're always, every other post is, look who I'm dating, look at how much I spent on my jeans. They are dying for attention, because when you get enough money, baby, when I made my first 100K, I didn't give a fuck if I had on some khakis with holes in it. I didn't give a fuck about none of that. I'd go right to that counter and be like, you said what? Okay, have a good day, baby. Here's your $100 tip. Okay, fuck out of here. I don't care what people say. These people are broker than you. That's why they watch me. Okay, people like Lizzo and Kelly Price, Terrence Howard, these people watch my channel so much When I tell people I don't give a damn who don't watch me, the people who need to be watching me are the influencers y'all call yourselves influenced by. And I am not impressed. I am not the fucking pressed, okay? But this is what happens when you sell yourself short to playing both sides. And they can't play both sides because they've already set the path of being ignorant or being an imposter. So people like me, tell Cardi B to come do an interview with me in Spanish. You can't because you're not original, you don't speak Spanish, and you're not a Latina. If anything, you're a biracial or something who's been hiding behind that shit forever. No offense, as a Latina, you would never have to rob niggas. They gonna give you whatever you want. Okay, we speak a love language, girl. We speak a romance language. Okay, this is why I speak Italian, Portuguese, and Spanish. Which way you wanna fall in love, motherfucker? Okay, I don't give a fuck who you are. You finna hold doors, okay? And even after I'm inside that door, you gonna keep holding it. Okay, it's that type of pressure. And I don't have to come out in a gay man's designer for you to see me. You're gonna feel me because women are felt. They don't even have to be seen. Okay, the people still trying to be seen are men in drag. That's why they going overboard to be seen, and with shit that don't belong to them, that is not their natural. So when I tell a lot of people the person that you're envious of is a tranny that don't get no love because a lot of people don't want to be seen with them, the fact that y'all don't understand Cardi B is paying somebody who is a model to pretend he's her boyfriend, baby, you down bad. Imagine somebody who's a multiple baby mama with multiple baby dads, and y'all think a rich soccer player actually wants her. Baby, they fucking and going about their business. If you want to throw the poop, the coochie, and be the sugar mama, baby, that's the sugar mama. Okay, y'all gotta understand, all men don't have to trick on women. It's a lot of women, and even the ones who don't say, y'all are the tricks. Okay, this is why a lot of men don't have to get right. But if you're going to deal with me, oh, baby, you going to get the fuck right. Okay, you ain't tricking off of me. I don't care how hard I work. Okay, if I do stuff for you, it is literally out of the genuinity of my heart and because I want you to thrive. It has nothing to do with competition or just because I'm a rich bitch. None of that. When you start forgetting that gender roles had to exist so that men could stop pretending they didn't know what manhood was about, or honestly to give a lot of them the ability to feel like men by working, because there are so many women who are like, I got us, babe, I got the girl. If you don't sit your strong ass down, okay, this is what keeps them busy. Okay, this is why the internet had to come along so they can see what you are doing in your relationships. You want to know why Cardi B can't stop taking pictures and doing fake photo shoots and paying paparazzi to take pictures? Bitch, if you was to go out in your regular, ain't nobody looking at that janky ass BBL and the same wigs you see everywhere in New York and everywhere else. This is not the fucking Dominican Republic. No one looks at you special because you skin bleach and fucking go get your bodies done. The same bitches, when you come around in your natural, they bent all out of shape. Okay, why? Because it don't take all that. Okay, being a woman is a divine thing. This is why people who are not biological women are always taking your divine woman essence and trying to water it down so that they can fit into the group of being a woman. And the only group they fit in are the bitches who watch baddies and reality shows, and all of them are trannies too. That's why they can't sit up straight. They always gotta turn and try to make their clavicle bones look different. They niggas, but most of them, I don't even have to look past the neck down. I can see it in their face. I can see it in their energies. People forget that most transgenders go get their voices changed. They can sound like you and your mama. And that's also why they talk shit about you and say shit like, your voice is raspy. And so was Whitney Houston's, bitch. And who gonna out-sing us? Women have rasp to their voice, and a lot of them as they age. For a lot of people, you don't get your raspiness from yelling and this and that. It's a mixture of your parents' voices. Sad for you to understand that. What you get is what your parents have. Okay? You don't just wake up and talk like you're a 4-year-old anime character. Bitch, that is depressing, because that means you're trying to still attract pedophiles. And when they do you like pedophiles do, okay, replace you and move on, because it's always somebody not watching their kids, you gonna feel stupid. Okay, imagine when you like, oh yeah, I got bent over by a rich dude, but you got bent over because he feels like you look like an 11-year-old. Girl, boo. Okay, we big fine. We big grown fine. You gonna know we grown. We don't want your little boys. We don't want the people who want little boys. Okay, and if that's what you prefer, do that, but stop pretending it's classy woman shit. Okay, can't nobody who can't make a classy album convince me that you're a woman in America. Hiding behind blackness is how they push their ignorance. If Cardi B says she's not black, which she's not, okay, so she would not be an Afro Latina the way she's claiming. People like me are Afro Latinas, which is why we claim black. It's the fake Afro Latinas who claim Afro Latina, but then turn around and say, we know blackie. Okay, you can claim your culture and still understand your color. But if you're in the process of bleaching that shit away anyway, okay, so you can have some ashy elbows and knees, so you can get your exoticals united on. Okay, these are the people who need mental institutions, and without those mental institutions, the internet is the only way they can vent how bad they hate themselves and how other people should hate themselves too, because the whole world has shown you what they don't like about you. Okay, but nobody gives a fuck about that, because until you stop copying me, until you stop looking towards me for your content, for your train of thought and everything else, I don't give a damn what you think. And most men who understand how shit works, they want the original. Okay, so when they realize you're copying somebody, the first thing they gonna do is ain't say a word, and they gonna watch the women you follow, they gonna watch who you mimic, and if they ever see those women, they are gonna be drawn to those women. They gonna be in their chats secretly donating, okay? They gonna be in their chats secretly watching them for hours at a time, because they know that's who you're copying. And that's why I tell women, find you a damn personality and stop pretending at the age of 45 with 3 kids and a husband you moving like I'm moving. Bitch, I ain't got no kids. Okay, I ain't married because I ain't splitting shit I worked for by myself. Okay, Oprah. Okay, I don't care what you think about it. If you have something to lose, you don't just combine because somebody want to see you do it. That would be false. Okay, a lot of people get married and pick their baby daddies based off of the fact that they don't got shit to lose. Okay, so they have to create something to lose, and it's usually people and what they're working for. I got rich baby daddies, I got a rich baby mama. Cool, but when you get through, most of those riches ain't shit when you got 10 other baby mamas with 10 other kids to take care for. Okay, of course you ain't never done working. Work, bitch. Okay, real life. Work it. Okay, you gonna be working your whole life, poo. Okay, choose better. Imagine having a chance to choose better, and you still go out here and make yourself a multiple time baby mama to niggas who publicly shame you about the fact that you were just a bop. Okay, I don't care who you seen with. You can be go seen with anybody from the Dominican Republic who you think is fine. You can't have kids with them because you're not a woman. You're dicking them down. Okay, or they're a gay man. Okay, imagine women being jealous of a tranny dating a gay guy who likes trans more than women, and y'all like, oh, he's so fine. Oh, he don't like pussy. That's the flex for Cardi B. Look at that. I'm so gay and I'm so fine. These bitches could never pull a nigga like me. And for those of you who want to pull a nigga like her, you would have to be a tranny, because they be busting these trannies down. The people who like trannies, and a lot of athletes do. They won't be honest, but most athletes prefer trannies because most of them don't want to settle down. Okay, I don't care who you think. Okay, my brother is also a professional athlete. So I've been seeing niggas that look like Cardi B's quote unquote new boo my whole damn life. They look like that when they're 11 years old. They be 11 years old, 12 years old, 6'4". Okay, and sound like a 10-year-old. Mom, I'm so hungry. You be like, damn, I thought this was a grown man. Okay, a lot of these people be way younger. It's the youth. Okay, a lot of them, if they don't know any better, Cardi B and other people be playing off of these young men's youth. Okay, in other words, do you know who I am? Don't you want some clout? Okay, if you pay me $50,000, bitch, I act like I date you too. Okay, in real life, no man is gonna be like, yeah, I got the baddest bitch. How you got the baddest bitch, and the bitch wasn't bad before she got on every table and still getting on tables to this day. Okay, there's not a woman alive who's gonna survive a BBL and different types of surgeries and keep getting on the table. These are men in drag. As a woman, they would not even allow you to be on a table this much and this consistently. It's not booty pads. It's not none of that. And I don't care who it is. You can't sue me for slander, bitch, when it's the truth. And like I said, doing professional makeup, I was so hurt when I realized that Coil Ray, Asian Doll, these are men. Okay, by the time I get to brushing foundation around certain areas, bitch, I know I did not just touch no Adam's apple. Oh my Lord. Okay, my titties all in a man's face. Oh my God, let me stand over here. These people will never tell you. And for a lot of people, they're too pretty, they're too makeup. Okay, and y'all not understanding anatomy is the only reason y'all cannot tell these are men. Their voices are man-like. This is why they have to change their voices. Beyonce, all their voices are deeper than any nigga you done ever met in your life. And let them get mad. You gonna realize, oh my God, I think this is a dude or something. They go Mordecai on your ass, okay, real quick, and they're disrespectful. That's one reason why I stopped doing makeup. Bitch, if you can't do this shit yourself, you sure ain't finna talk crazy to me while I do it, okay? You'll be doing their makeup, and these are the same people who will shoo you away, try to take a phone call like you ain't got no other time, like you should just be grateful that they just exist type of stuff. So imagine doing makeup for somebody who you already gave a discount to. Okay, if your makeup is $2,500, because I'm doing your makeup today and I'm doing 4 or 5 other people with you, their makeup too, there's no reason why you shouldn't consider my time. Ain't no walk off and argue with some gay dude, and then that's when you realize they're gay guys. All they do is argue all day. It don't matter what trick they talking to, they arguing, they scrolling, they're looking at all the other gay people all day long on their phones. They can't even sit up and get their own makeup and hair done because they trying to see what such and such is wearing today. I don't want to wear that. She wearing pink. Tell her to find me something pink because I look better anyway. She fat. This is what they do all day. That's why when I meet women who start acting like this is just girls and privilege, y'all are listening to, watching to, and obsessed with trannies. Okay, and you know, because only a real woman is gonna come here and be like, girl, get it together. Okay, they don't want you to get it together because the more you don't have it together, the easier they can stand in the place of you and pretend that their energy and your energy is the same. This is why a lot of hood rats, a lot of fake intelligence and people like that, they are never going to like me. Why? Because I don't like you either, and I don't have to. Okay, imagine when people want to be liked for something they're not, when you're hated for simply being who you are. So the people that like you, they don't like you because of who you are. They like who you're pretending to be. So if you ever stop pretending, people are going to be like, ugh, how do we ever listen to you? Okay? Why is Cardi B considered talented? You can't sing. Bitch, you can barely rap on beat, and all you are is somebody who's angry. Imagine having children, especially daughters, and all you, pussy's so good, and I'm this, and I'm that, and I'm that, and I'm pretending to have a Latina accent, but all I know is English. Ain't no bitch who only know English from New York talking like all she know is Spanish. You're illiterate. You're illiterate, baby. Okay? I'm not gonna argue with somebody who's fucking illiterate. And yes, you can go pay for a degree and you still don't got none. Okay? You can go pay for somebody to pretend you got accolades you don't have. But instead, they would rather pay paparazzi. Okay? Y'all forget paparazzi, you can pay for that. You can go on Google and be like, paparazzi near me. Bitch, you ain't just stepped out and somebody knew who you was. Half you bitches ain't even got a face that's fucking exotic. Okay, when I say exotic, you look youthful. You look like a woman without having to do extra. Okay, so these folks can't go out without concealer creased under their eyes. Okay, they would never. Okay, they gotta make sure their fake asses are sitting right and everything else. Okay, I don't care what y'all say. People like Scarlett and all these other places, all the other people, they are letting you know there is a version of tranny for all of y'all, and all of them want to stand in your place so that men don't feel bad about sleeping with them too. And y'all can say what y'all want to. That's also why you see people like T.S. Madison talking about every woman needs to get on PrEP. Y'all bitches better stop sleeping with these niggas because they letting you know we playing both sides, and honestly most of them aren't playing both sides equally. While you're working and taking care of kids or planning a future, they're balls deep in somebody who can't get pregnant, who wishes they could. That's called pussy envy. That pussy envy is why they always want to be on your internet. If you're famous and rich, bitch, why do you need the internet? Why do you need to be live streaming? Because they're not rich and famous. Oops. They're peasants, and they're on a low level of menstrual cycling. That's why they, oh, you work so hard. Slaves are supposed to work. That's what slaves do. Okay, that is your punishment. Not being who you say you are. Men work. So if you want to be a woman in drag, a man in drag, pretending to be a woman, you gonna still work like a nigga, and they gonna let you know that. Okay, that's why after having kids, the only thing they want to show off is their BBLs. Okay, as a parent, how you are considering yourself multilingual or bilingual, and your kids don't know their native tongue because they're not here to teach their kids their own culture. Their culture is mimicking you, taking your place, pushing out your talents, and standing in the place of you. Like I told Cardi B, your Cardi B's ghostwriter reached out to me about 3 years ago and got the biggest fuck no you'd ever seen in your life. Okay, you gonna have to pay ghostwriters who don't understand what you are, baby. Okay, them tired ass raps. Yeah, and I'm that, and my thong, and my bitch. I don't give a fuck about none of that. You don't own more acres than I do. When you own 400,000 acres, bitch, then you can say, I have my own city. Okay, I have my own city. I don't need the keys to yours. That's a flex. Past that, there's always enough land for you to come build on my property. I don't care how much your bootleg mansion is. This $14 million mansion that used to be Whitney Houston's. They passing around equity that they do not own. And that is why after a while they are worth more dead than alive, because most people, those places belong to other energies before them that had more talent, that had more creativity, and they were loved. Cardi B would never replace certain people. So when they say stuff like, oh, you're better than Lauryn Hill, in what aspect? Tranny against tranny, what would be the better aspect of representation for womanhood? Okay, this is what happens when they telling you, we don't want you to be seen as sophisticated and sensual and intelligent. We want you to be seen the same way men treat them and see them, which is nothing but something to bump on, okay, and then pass around. That's why they're called bops, and that's why they always trying to show you who they fucking. It don't, you will fuck anything. That's why you're in Hollywood, baby. Oh, excuse me. Did I say that out loud? Oh, well. But this is what I mean when I say a lot of people get upset when you talk your shit. You can talk your shit. A lot of these people, even Chris Brown. This is why I don't fuck with Chris Brown. Chris Brown is a drug addict. Okay, not only is he a drug addict, if y'all don't know, Chris Brown has HIV. Chris Brown had HIV for probably the past 10, 15 years. And a lot of these people have different things that's wrong with them. And even if they're sick, do you see they still gonna work, right? Okay? Nobody behind the scenes cares if they're sick. They knew you was gonna be sick and working like a slave to the day you die because of what you're hiding behind. In other words, their biggest secret is they're not biologically what they say they are. And to keep that secret and to keep people liking them more than they're supposed to, what do you think they're doing? They working for it. They're paying for the fake protection they're pretending they're receiving. When the same people giving you that fake protection will also disappear you, go get somebody who looks like you to stand in your place. And for 5 years, you haven't seen the real Chris Brown, just this light-skinned nigga from the islands who looked like him. Okay? Just like I remember like some years ago I was watching this documentary about how so many people make money off of impersonating celebrities, and the biggest celebrity impersonation was Michael Jackson. And it was crazy to me that people don't think like this. If people will impersonate Michael Jackson and do it well, okay, how do you not understand they can impersonate people like Chris Brown and other people too? Okay, why do you think they have hip-hop dance classes? And why do you think these people look totally different? Chris Brown came out with some BDBs in his head, and he was the same color as the old Keisha Cole. Okay, they was the same color, tit for tat. Okay, love. Okay, they was on their shit. Okay, but they were black. They were undeniably black people. I think people forget they let you know who they want to be when they get a little bit more clout. Okay, they do anything for clout, and for them, the closest they can get to clout is being light-skinned. Okay, they know the industry that they're in does not like melanin unless you are giving them your melanin for sacrifice. Okay, and a lot of the people y'all think are alive, baby, they've been sacrificed, those people. That's why when certain people reached out to me for the last 2 years, Universal okay, has been reaching out to me for a contract. And I know it's only because they want to give you the contract and then unalive you afterwards. Okay, there are so many people who get the deal, and right after you get the deal and what you think you want, they're gonna take you out because you signed, you asking for this. They do not want biological people in the industry. The only biological people, man or woman, that they want in the industry are people who are willing to fuck on gay people and keep their secrets. But if you want people to like you for you, you shouldn't be pretending to be something else and then destroying the image of people who actually can't deny what they are every day. As a woman, you should take it offensive when bitches like, yeah, all we do is pop pussy and wear too little clothes. Okay? Y'all done seen thick women y'all whole life. Okay? The cookie in the front is fat. How the world you got BBLs and big titties and all this stuff and you don't got no coochie meat? Okay, y'all be acting like y'all don't understand when men are tucking their penises. And most men who are trannies, okay, they do not get their penises cut off. All of them be on their T.S. Madison, let me dog you out and slut you out type of thing. Yes, they do. This is what they get their pleasure off of knowing that a man who claims to like ussy is straight gobbling their ding dong. Okay, this is why they always. Even Cardi B will even tell you, "Suck my dick." I ain't. If a girl, a real biological girl, ever told me to suck her dick, I would have hit her so hard. Okay, I would never turn the other cheek. Cause bitch, who you talking to like that? That is so ugly and grimy and disgusting. Okay, if a man saying it grinds your gears. Okay, why would a woman be telling you, suck my dick, suck my dick? You can suck my, cause it's a nigga. And they letting you know, okay? It ain't no, this some New York shit. This some, girl, I done met plenty of people from New York and not one of them as a woman has ever told me to suck they dang-a-lang. Stop it. You stop that lying, okay? Use a nigga, okay? So if you want to sue for the fact that you cannot be pussy, because pussy is too good for you to ever be. Okay, so you hide behind clothes and shoes and all that shit and banging people who are female to males. That's what they're collecting. They're collecting people who are gay but can have babies. I don't care how you see it. If you want to see it for real, look at them. Listen to them. Listen to their stories. Look how fake they are. Look how fake they are. Matter of fact, only a man and people who are on their RuPaul Drag Race shit would put on any of the outfits they put on and say, this is fashion. Ma'am, you dressed up as a red penis. How is that fashion? I would never go in David's Bridal. I would never go into Ross's. I would never go in Saint Laurent. I would never go in any store that I actually fucking go to and pick out a dress that looks like I'm wearing a dick. Only a guy would say, and a guy who belongs on RuPaul's Drag Race would say, this is fly and this is feminine and this is, ain't no woman finna walk around in that. Okay, your thighs sweating before you even put that shit on. Okay, no. Okay, how is that sophisticated? Okay, it's not. It's what gay men think is sophisticated because gay men are extra. Okay, but you want to know why they're extra? Because they're competing with someone who don't gotta be and still getting attention. A lot of people, if they're actually gay, they're not trying to sleep with the same people as you. They want somebody to say, oh, honey, I'm his everything. Okay, I love my husband. They don't want to share with you. Okay, baby, I can't tell you the last time I've been to Walmart. I about bought one and I was like, shit, y'all will be out of business soon. So let me pass on that. Okay, I wanted my own franchise and then I realized they're getting replaced. In about 3 to 5 years, you're not going to see any Walmarts either. I don't think y'all realize that most of these people who are pretending to be celebrities, they're a part of different families who come here and they're here to override your companies with their own. This is why they're trying to sell their hair products. You're going to look up eventually, you're not going to find any African Pride or any Blue Magic. You're going to see their bullshit and they're going to say, but look at my hair, don't you want this? But they're the main people who will put so many chemicals in your shit. They don't care if you get cancer in 3 to 5 years. They are part of the agenda. When Michael Jackson told y'all they don't really care about us, okay, Michael Jackson that made these folks so much money, dead and alive, y'all need to listen to the people who they rely on as cash cows. If they don't protect their cash cows, why are y'all still menstrually waiting for them to see you? They gonna give you a on the porch interview, and in 2 to 5 years, you're gonna be deceased from that. How do I know? Because I saw it coming for myself. This is the only reason why I make music and I put it on here the way I do. If I wanted to be rich and famous and have my shit on the radio played so much that you start hating my songs, I could have done that. Okay? I could have done that. The amount of people who I was ghostwriting for and I did not realize it, honestly, I got angry. Okay, so I started reaching out to them. Yeah, I wrote your song, this and that, and I never got credits for it. But there's a contract that says this, so I would like at least this in royalties. Okay, we can set that up. You didn't say that. No, bitch, you were supposed to say that. So again, not being knowledgeable about what you're doing, not being knowledgeable about your craft and how many people need it. This is why they get over on you. Even with Chris Brown, there are several songs I co-wrote for Chris Brown. Okay, I don't care about him saying, well, yeah, you don't write most of your music, buddy. So when you sit up here and say shit like, but can't nobody sing it like me, yeah, we can, bitch. The bitch that wrote it can sing it like you. Real definition of these people be so strung out on drugs and shit, they forget you ain't never wrote no hit. You don't write, you can't even think. Thinking is for people who are still in touch with their own realities. Most of these people don't have a reality. They're told their reality and they get into character. Okay, and half of these people are playing other people in the industry. I'm sorry that y'all don't want to believe this, but that is why I did not want to keep doing professional makeup. This is why I started ghostwriting, and I absolutely had to take my pictures down and be like, bitch, I don't even want y'all to see me. Okay, when it comes to Cupcake and many other people, we know these people personally. We have to. It's the money. If somebody say we'll pay you 6,000, 8,000, okay, 12,000 to go write this song, we need a summer hit. Well, bitch, well, you should have said that. Okay, let me give you a summer hit that doesn't destroy my image. Okay, after a while, they realize you're keeping them from destroying your image. That is why I chose to be a ghostwriter, because if you already got men in drag in the place of me, the least I can do is push some frequencies with my real talent that they can't. This is why rappers have become popular, because they can only push aggressive bass, okay, type of things. People like Cardi B, all these wannabe women rappers and tranny rappers. They are the people pushing this fake, I'm so soft life, I gotta be aggressive. Bitch, if your life was that soft, you could come out every day with your natural hair, okay, some slight makeup, and just be relaxed. You can't, because you're competing with trannies as a tranny. Okay, like I said, as a woman, when I made my first 100K, my middle fingers went up so quick to anything that bothered my peace, and all they got was a cute little giggle as I walk my rich ass out the room. Okay, that's all they get. Okay, real definition of this motherfucker hit me in my mouth with some money. It's all it takes. They can't hit you in your mouth with some money. They gonna get somebody to make a channel and say, Cardi B gifted this person $20,000. Show us, bitch. Show us. Because y'all don't even want to pay y'all ghostwriters that. And we giving y'all the bop of the year type shit. So again, this is why I laugh at people. This is also why when I wrote a song in Spanish, Cardi B had to reject it, because she can't fucking speak Spanish. You could have had the bop of all the Latinas in the world, and you can't speak Spanish enough to even pretend what you claiming you are. That is crazy, honey. Okay, and you watch my channel too, bitch. That's why half of the things that I do on here, you be putting them in your music videos. And girl, just come say hi. Okay, and if you gonna come watch me like that, bitch, spend some money. Spend that shit, sir. Stop watching my essence for free. That's also why I stay my ass offline. When you got shit to lose, you got to realize the people who want to get you out the game, they're not usually women. Most women can't afford to do anything to you unless they have a dumb man to send out. But trannies, oh, they'll do it themselves, because they are still men who feel like you don't deserve what you deserve as a woman. But if they become a woman, they are like, but I deserve this, and women go through this. I'm gonna say this again. If you watch my videos, this is why I say they wear your faces. They wear your issues, they wear your problems, and they wear your community attachments. Okay, they attach to the black community. They pretend, well, you know, as women, this is what we go through. Okay, and as a woman, You could be soft spoken, sweet, intelligent, go to work, do your 9 to 5, save your money, pay your own apartment, not have kids, not be ran through, and they still will try to bring a Cardi B out of you. Okay, they will still try to force you to be something your energy doesn't even deliver. It doesn't even attract people like that. In fact, you be like, why people don't talk to me? Like, you could be in the best shape you'd ever been in. A lot of people avoid you because what they're attracted to is low level energy. So a lot of women only get attention because somebody is gonna put their legs back and say, eat my ass, ma'am. And well, guess what? They're gonna Sukiana that shit. They're men. They are not women. This is why they're always bragging on shit that if a woman was to say out loud, I'd be like, girl, you gotta do all that. Oh, girl, he's curious. He's on the curious side, honey. And I ain't talking about with you. Okay, like I said, you're grown. You can do what you want to in your relationship. But a lot of women won't admit their men have been playing with these he, she's, and other people for a long time. Because real gay people, they do not want to share men or women with you. They want their own partners. They want them clean. They get tested before intercourse, after, during. Okay. A lot of people still wearing condoms during their marriage. Okay. So when you get through, a lot of people want to be the thing that ruins your relationships. And social media is really for celebrities to come find you and use you as sacrifices. So I'm going to tell you this because I learned this myself. If you're ever too talented, I need you to understand your celebrities go through social media and they choose you to sacrifice. It's very rare when they have to sacrifice another celebrity. And the celebrities they do sacrifice, you would not know them because they're celebrities who are from other generations that people have forgotten about. And when they sacrifice them, you'll start seeing that celebrity stuff pop up all over YouTube. But they won't talk about the fact that they're deceased because they were actually sacrificed, okay? Or they're in the process of being cloned to bring their essence back, but in a way they want to see it. Still youthful, things like that. Most celebrities go through social media and they're looking for sacrifices who, because they are trannies, okay, most of them, they're taking out the real definition of who they're copying. So if you're a man who gets money and likes cars and collects certain things and you have a beautiful wife and all this stuff, they're gonna come take you out, sir. Okay, they don't care if you got a homestead and this and that. They're gonna come take you out because it is your image that they want more than you having anything of substance. Okay, and a lot of them, after they take you out, they come back and take your kids. Okay, trannies who are men biologically still cannot have babies. I don't care how many uteruses they collect. They cannot have kids. Go look at Cardi B. I'm going to give you an example. Which one of y'all have had a baby and within a month you're able to pop out with your belly out, okay? And your belly doesn't have a stretch mark or a black line, or these are men in drag who are wearing pregnancy bellies, okay, and playing in your face. Being poor really does save you from dealing with the higher level wickedness, because at the higher levels, it's nothing but some RuPaul shit, okay? That's why I'm like, bitch, I don't care if I can make the church cry. Y'all can have that shit, but you can't have me, okay? You can't have me, bitch. I need her. And that's why I tell a lot of women, you don't have to dislike real women. Most of the time, we the only ones that's gonna make waves for you. We gonna be the one that see you homeless and come slip you $50, okay, hoping that you're not on drugs or do something stupid, but that's your business. We just gonna bless you because we got it to bless you, okay? But sometimes you can't bless people with too much. They end up killing themselves. In other words, if I was to come to you on the streets and give you 5,000, you're gonna probably take that 5,000 to another junkie or to a guy who just look at you as something to screw on, and he gonna rob you for it. And next thing you know, your face will be on the news because you had a few $1,000s that they didn't. Okay, you ain't really got no friends when you going through certain stuff. So if you ever start going through homelessness, your first understanding need to be the universe is trying to separate. Okay, trying to separate me from somebody or something. Okay, because again, everything ain't human. You gonna know when you're dealing with humans, because most of the time humans attack you individually. If they attacking you in a group, they weak already. Okay, they the weakest links already, and bullets absolutely do have a name. Okay, if you are like me, instead of pretending makeup is the only thing you know how to do, bitch, you better take your ass to that gun range, because I be at the gun range more than your daddy. So I be waiting for a bitch to find out. Okay, I'm like, oh really? That's cute. Okay, because you're supposed to. I don't care what you think about higher level women and women of high value. Most of them will go GI Jane in a heartbeat and ain't never been to the military in their life, because you have something to lose. Women who don't have nothing to lose, they're promiscuous and they're dangerous. They're always looking for problems because they don't fear losing anything. They really don't have nothing to fear. This is why people like Cardi B they argue with little shit. She called me ugly. Bitch, why is somebody broker than you on your radar and you're that angry? See, if I call people out, it's because you're broke ass trying to mimic me and you can't afford to. So I'm gonna hit you with the, no ma'am, this ain't about God and Jesus and religion and being stuck and drinking blood and shit. Get your weird ritualistic ass. That's why Christians and other people are the first people they choose to make famous. Why? Because they know you already pretending to drink the blood. Okay, you already pretending to eat the body. Okay, all paths lead back to occultism. Okay, that's why I don't care how much you love Jesus. Don't none of your award shows and things like that, don't none of them have Jesus as the center unless it's a joke. Y'all know I ain't lying. Okay, get a little higher up. Okay, when you have parents who are mega preachers and different things, y'all will start understanding. Even our parents already know they signed up to do the opposite of what people are praising them for. So it's hard for you to even respect a lot of the people in your families who have certain positions, because you know why they were given that position, because they will do some evil shit to keep it. Okay, when you realize that, you better stop playing with folks and thinking in the name of Jesus they won't take your monkey ass out. That's gonna be the very reason they do it, because they can't separate fiction from reality. By the time you do, it ain't no money good enough that's gonna make me come around a whole bunch of trannies, fix them up to feel like they look better than women, and then turn around and pretend that them yelling and being aggressive on a beat. Yeah, bitch, do she even got a BET award? Bitch, BET ain't owned by black people no more. Of course you got a BET award, because you sure couldn't get one when our black asses was the base of BET. You wouldn't even be able to get in there. Okay, you would have to have a little bit more education and lyrical ability to even be seen. So of course you got a BET award now. But imagine, this is what I'm talking about. If Bia, who really knows Bia? Bia came out with a couple songs. Oh, it's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker. And I like that song too. But you have to understand, I'm also Puerto Rican. So a lot of the lingo that I hear Bia and other people use, we understand it. So we know who is actually Hispanic and who's not. You move like it, and you don't give a fuck if you don't get the fake clout. You don't need it. People know you in real life. And that's what a lot of people are mad about, because they have to be seen with people that have status to feel like they got it, but it ain't their status. Okay, like, oh, I took a picture with this person. Okay, bitch, he ain't giving you his phone number. He don't want to be chilling with you. He ain't gonna think about this day no more. You're just a fan type of shit. Okay, period. Okay, this is why a lot of women be mad. That's why they need the key to somebody's city. When I realized I had enough acres that I could build my own city, oh bitch, I thought I basically became a dictator. Okay, I was like, what do you mean? Why are you on my property? Okay, no, get off of here. Okay, don't spray nothing over here. Don't do nothing. Okay, it becomes more of a, people hate to see a woman with power and control, and that is how you know these people pretending to be women celebrities, they're not. If y'all didn't peep this, when I came out, this is why people like Jill Scott and other people had to come back on the scene, because they are old bitches. Really, they're old men who are standing in the place of women they know actually exist. So if you look too similar to certain people, if they feel like they can have your image, they take it and run with it. So when people meet me, guess what they're saying? You look like Jill Scott. I sing better than Jill Scott. I look better than Jill Scott. I am more womanly than Jill Scott. I don't have to pretend my essence. And I'm also not doing a whole bunch of sad depictions of women being messed over by men. Okay, this is all that trannies think about, is showing themselves beloved or done wrong, and I ended up the bad bitch on top. Okay, yeah, he tried to do me dirty. All they do is talk about what they did or how somebody did them, when really they're getting done like that because they're not being honest about who they are. It's really that simple. And again, if you pay attention, I don't care what race of woman you are, what ethnicity, go look at your celebrities. all of the celebrities, especially if you're a talented woman, if you sing, if you paint, okay, if you are someone who's really good with mathematics, if you are a wonderful fashion designer, whatever you are as a woman, if you are gifted, go look through the industry and watch who's pretending to be you. Keke Palmer, these are niggas. I'll do yourself a favor and go look up Corn. Okay, go look at Corn. Go look at T.S. Madison in Corn. Go look up different types of trans in Corn. And you tell me Cardi B, T.S. Madison, all these other people, Coi Leray, all of them have lookalikes, but only in transgender form. The woman form does not look like that. Okay, it doesn't move the same. It doesn't have to entice men the same way. You just being womanly and having the cooch is the enticement that they need. Okay, for them, they gotta bend him backwards and eat his booty. This is how y'all pretending that y'all don't understand Sukiana is not pregnant, cannot get pregnant. This is a aggressive man tranny. And a lot of times they be acting like hood women who actually exist. And a lot of those women gonna be like, nigga, you want me to do what? Okay, everybody is not a freak-a-leak in the way they saying it. For a lot of people, freaky is just riding the D good. Okay, freaky is just sucking it a little freaky and crazy. Okay, it ain't all the extreme shit they acting like they gotta do. They gotta do that extreme shit because they're Dubaiers, meaning they eat shit for a living because that is all they have to produce. Nothing. Okay, if your whole image is made off of something fake, eventually that shit is gonna crumble because pride comes before the fall, and they will never be high enough up to where they can stop pretending. And I don't know about y'all, that sounds like torture. Okay, to get famous and everybody loves you for something that you're really not. Of course, eventually you'd want to delete yourself and be depressed, and Justin Bieber, and when y'all really look at these people, most of the men in the industry are prettier than the women. When you were to look at Leonardo DiCaprio, when you were to look at or Orlando Bloom and all these other people, they have prettier features than most of the girls they're around and pretending to like. And it's because they are females who turn themselves into men. And to this day, the hormone differences and things like that is still showing up. That is why you can see people like Trippie Redd and all these other people, all of them still got their hairlines. It's people like Cardi B and other people whose hairlines are getting pushed back to their ass crack because they're men, still on hormones, okay, still trying to be hairless and everything else, still trying to skin bleach. And this is why after a while, all of them look just like Brandy. And most of them have HIV and other diseases before they even get to the next level. Because what a lot of them are working for is the medicine to clear their sickness. And if they ever do enough work to clear their sickness, at that point they understand you're disposable. So they work a little harder. They push the satanic agendas even more. Okay, they're willing to ruin more kids. Anything to get rid of the sickness they took on by being exactly who they are. False idols. They're not iconic. They're nobody's icon. I ain't never woke up like, yeah. Okay, my whole life I've been seeing pretty women. Skinny, tall, big, small. Women are beautiful just like men are beautiful. Okay, I want you to consider how many people do stupid stuff like this. They say looks don't matter for men. Okay, and then turn around and wonder why so many people who are men and considered overweight and things like that, those are the main men who will delete you and choke you out. Okay, because you don't receive them well and this and that. But look at how men prove that they are the ones making these decisions. How many of y'all have turned down a guy because he was unhealthy? Okay, nobody wants you sweating and shit on top of us just because you ain't. Get the no. Okay, cigarette smokers and women deal with what they're okay with the quality of lifestyle of. So if you want a cigarette smoker and a Black and Mild smoker, girl, that's you, because it will be the first thing. Oh no, absolutely not. Okay, you deal with what's acceptable to you. So a lot of women have been dealing with low class people their whole lives. Okay, those are the only people you'll be able to rob and not get one hit quit. Okay, you go rob a man who got something to lose. Oh, he's gonna take you out and call the police and say she was robbing me, sir. Okay, nobody cares about that because you're a woman, but they're not women. They are trying to get women to do things that as a man they can defend themselves from. They're strong enough to fight a man. Okay, but you are not going to have the same strength when that man starts choking you out because you stole his wallet. Okay, Cardi B and them can do that. They big, strong, fake black women. Okay, so when they come around, why do you think all they do? I'm hard, I'm gangster, I'm this, I'm. They're angry men because they still want what you have and realize they're still working harder than you ever will have to as a natural woman. When you realize that, who are you really listening to, baby? Who are you getting your advice from? Who do you want to be like? Why would you want to be like somebody who can't even rest and claim they're rich? Oops. That's not a flex, honey. That's not a soft life. That's a you ain't found the right trick yet. Okay, imagine when you done got your whole everything done and you still gotta pay paparazzi to pretend. Oh, I was out at this place. We caught this person here. They pay for paparazzi. I know because when I was doing professional makeup, almost as soon as I got done doing their makeup, next thing you know, paparazzi was ready. Okay, did you call them? When they gonna be here? Okay, they pull up pretending that you're more special, and most of these people don't really think you're shit. They just get paid to say, "What are you wearing?" Okay, because the tranny wants to show off their outfit. I'm wearing this and I'm wearing that. Fashion is a gay man's sport because there's nothing else he can talk about in womanhood that actually applies to womanhood. So this is why men be like, what she got on? What she Men are judgmental of what you wear and how you wear it because to them you are nothing more than something they can dress up. If they don't like how you're dressed up, well, most of the time it's because you have free speech and you have enough money or whatever of your own. You don't have to follow what they find attractive. And because most of them are pedophiles, most of them find too little clothes and pretending to have to blush your cheeks and things like that. They pretend that's cute. But that's why there's so many facelifts and, you know, all this other stuff. Again, most of these people don't look like nothing. Y'all forgot Keke Palmer still got the most fucked up skin in the world, still to this day. I don't care how much makeup and wigs and outfits you put on and try to look sophisticated. These people ain't pushed out no babies. Y'all need to be asking yourself who babies they're stealing. Because a man with a dick still attached to his privates, he ain't pushed out no baby. Where are they getting these babies? Y'all better stop playing with y'all self like that. Okay, it's not just the, oh, well, biracial kids. And when you get through, a lot of y'all who are biracials and a lot of y'all light skinned, your mom could be a red bone and you yellow and your dad dark skinned. You still look like your parents usually. These people, kids don't look like them and they never will because they're not their children. This is where a lot of those foster kids, you can go foster care to foster care and eventually find a child that looks like you and has your features. It's not your child though. Okay, when you understand that, child trafficking is what most celebrities are behind because they can't have kids naturally. And the people who can, they would have to start inviting more women in the industry. That's why people like Chris Brown and other people, they are really the women in the industry. I don't give a fuck how y'all see it. And they also prove that women are under the spell of gay spell because, again, somebody grinding and rolling and this and that. That's why eventually you want to go to the strip club and watch women do it. Okay, you want to sit up here and look at lesbians and yes, because they're purposely making you gay so they can say the whole world is gay. Why do you think Doechii came out? Okay, if a man ain't gay or if a man is straight, it's a red flag. And they're men. They're men who won't shut up about the fact that their life is hard because they won't go be men and compete against men. You are their only competition as a biological woman. So all of the stuff you think you're doing, okay, we're going to have a conversation a little bit later today. We're going to do it under the veil, but y'all stay tuned for that because, honey, it's going to be messy. But I also have pictures with certain celebrities that I'm going to show you. I have pictures with Chris Brown. I have pictures with Gucci Mane before he was cloned. I have pictures with a lot of celebrities because, bitch, I ghostwrite. And most of these people be so fucking high. I don't care if they're off of psychedelics. I don't care if they're off of fucking meth. Most of these people are so high and under the influence to deal with what they're really doing. Okay, they are. The kids they're putting at risk and deleting and using as sacrifices, the women and regular people in the actual democracy that they think exists, they have to pick between you to sacrifice. Sometimes their job is just going online on social media and finding talented people who are real life people and real biological genders. They find you, they study you long enough. After they studied you enough, they send in the mob to delete you. Okay, and then you'll hear a story. A man today was taken away from his 6 children and this and that. They're only taking out the families where your talent would help you create a dynasty for that family. Okay, and those same kids, most of them are going to go to a celebrity, and those celebrities are going to try to get rich off of your kids. In other words, we don't need the parents to take what they create. All they need you to create is kids. That's it. That's why they act like everything they do is for kids. Cardi B don't need to be talking to kids. Sexy Unread, okay, doesn't need to be a kid's school talking about nothing. Not a damn thing, not even brushing her teeth. Why? Because they're men who have always preyed on you. If they preyed on you as a little girl, I don't care what y'all say. As a little girl, you get catcalled more as a child than you ever will as an adult. So the fact that so many women are up here, I'm leveling up, you forgot that men are pedophiles. And that at one point they can marry that 9-year-old and give that 9-year-old 10 kids. We know because that's what your grandma was going through. That's why your grandma doesn't see your grape as grape. They've been getting done like that forever. That's really why you bleed, because someone took your innocence. And to this day, they still flaunting around. And look at me, okay? Look at how many gay men will say shit like, how to use your dark feminine to get what you want. No, sir, you're not feminine. So you can't use something that doesn't belong to you to get something that doesn't belong to you. And this is how gay witchcraft ends up making women delete themselves, because you're copying people who don't get what they want either. Okay, they're always in the dark. Okay, they're always somewhere. I'm a life coach. I'm a love coach. You ain't shit. Okay, half of y'all couldn't even help a little league kids team win anything. Okay, real definition of how can somebody who's pretending to be someone else give you direction? Make it make sense. If you're waking up and pretending to be the opposite gender, why the fuck would I be listening to you? You're not even happy being your damn self, so why would I want to be like you? But that's the point. At some point, you have to understand you are really that bitch. So much so, that's why they tell you life is a bitch. We know, because we can't stop seeing ourselves everywhere. Even in men form, you want to be us. Okay? So past a certain point, if you don't understand that life is a bitch and you need to become that bitch, okay? Meaning your life revolves around you, for you, through you, and everything else. Okay? The who's, the what's, the when's, the why's. Okay, again, I don't argue with certain people because my best comeback is, okay, why would I argue with people who don't realize they're arguing over an essence that arguing is not why you're mad? In other words, they create conversations and situations, and the only one that exists is you niggas don't want to compete against men. So you're still hiking your ass in the air and pretending that boy butt is enough to keep you from having to go to war. But now the war has become internalized. And that is what self-hatred is. This is why there's so much racial tension and gender warring going on, because grown people are childish. And the kids have to grow up quicker. Have you ever realized when you were younger, you had so much ambition? You'd be like, man, I'm finna bust these 12 hours. I don't give a damn. Okay, you get a little older, you be like, bitch, I'm getting off in 8 hours today. I'm tired. When you younger, you have so much ambition. And that is what they're killing in the youth. Your ambition. They are killing the fact that it's your youth they're trying to get back to. I don't care about Lisa Ray or none of these other people. Most of these people started their careers already in their 30s. Even Cardi B, bitch, you is 40 something. You ain't no 30 shit. Beyonce, all they do is lie about their ages because what they want is access to pervert and turn out more and more youth. Okay, that's what they want. That's why I'm famous. I got awards. Bitch, y'all pay for your awards. Okay, you pay for your awards, baby. I don't care how many you got. You paid for it. Good for you. You earned it, right? You earned it. These motherfuckers got to pay for the awards, pay to go to the award shows. Okay, I got invited to go. Was it Coachella? I got invited backstage to kind of help with makeup and hair and stuff like that. And I was like, you think I'm finna pay to do that? Bitch, no, I'm not. Wow, to see a whole bunch of narcissistic people walk around with cameras and Girl, boo. Okay, I would be out here like turning this place into the carnival. Okay. Yes, I used to be a professional makeup artist before I took a break from college. At one point, I didn't even want to go back to college because I was like, I don't want the debt. Okay, all my professors, when I was going on campus and stuff, all my professors were immigrants. Okay, they would be up there, and when you come to the conclusion that this is what you do, you're supposed to. I was like, bitch, this is my all my professors sound like they're not from here. Okay, so it's just something about people who are not from my country teaching me things that are supposed to be the basis of my life and core and career. It does something to me. So I took a break from school for like 3.5 years. And honey, do you know what I did? Okay, I got into makeup because I was really good at painting. I did acrylic painting and stuff like that. And I was like, damn, the way I blend these colors and designs and patterns. Okay, next thing you know, I looked up and I was like, oh, I'm really good at this. Okay, when you become really good at stuff that is takes artistry, most people are going to watch you anyway, and they're going to say, hey, can you do that? Can you do my eyes like that? I know, I just do it for myself. Okay, they mess around and hit you with the, I'll pay you like, can I pay you like 800? Is $800 okay? Bitch, just to do your eyes, ombre? Girl, I go get you some lashes too. Come on in. Okay, and that's how it got started. I started doing makeup for people who didn't know how to do makeup. And for me, it didn't start off with trans and gay people. It was actually biological women whose parents, their mothers, either like their dad didn't let them wear makeup or their moms didn't introduce them to it in a feminine way to where they liked it. A lot of women who aren't introduced to makeup, they say shit like, oh, I don't need makeup. No, you don't need it. But if you know how to do it, it's a flex, because at any time, if you need to get into certain positions, certain places, you can flex that and you don't have to trust somebody else with your image. Okay, that's my thing. It's a lot of people who do makeup beautifully, and then there's some people where their makeup is perfectly for them. Okay, it's like it flatters them so much when other people try it, it don't even look the same. If you go look at Kim Kardashian and other people, look at my Vogue look. If you do their makeup looks, you're gonna understand they're trannies, because only trannies have to cover those features. Okay, only all the way from the Level Up Guru and all these people, they're all trannies. Okay, this is why they're like, oh, I got my buccal fat in my face removed. Bitch, that makes you look older. That makes you look old and decrepit. Only trannies think the skinnier they look better. No, bitch, you look more sick. Go ahead and get your Ariana Grande on. Okay, because that's what they don't think. They think it looks good because men who are desperate, they are just looking for something fragile to stick their little pee-pees in. Okay, because women, as women, we understand it's the plumpness in your cheeks that make you look youthful. So who the fuck will be dumb enough to remove that? People who are trying to pretend that this is the new sexy. Okay, looking like the Crips Keeper is not my ever gonna be my new sexy. You can call me fat, you can call me whatever. I'm gonna be baby faced forever. And that is okay with me, and not because I'm unhealthy, just because I'm not willing to get healthy and lose the things that keep you youthful. And you always want some form of volume in your face. Okay, if you're not a tweaker or somebody who's heavily on drugs or sick and things like that, there's absolutely no reason why. I don't care what size you are. You can be 100 pounds, you still should have some volume in your face. Women be up here like, you want a chin like this? You want a jawline like this? Bitch, y'all look like men. That's not sexy. No man's getting with you because your jawline is so crispy. Okay, that nigga might be a little curious about it. I'm just, what? Why do you think people think babies are so cute? Because they're chubby and they're full of volume, especially their cute little chubby cheeks. And a lot of people refuse to hear this until they hear this. The kids that are preyed on the most are chubby kids. Okay? And they also, the world knows that you are taught to neglect your chubby kids. That's usually why they're chubby anyways, because the world knows you're neglecting them and using food as a reason to do it. Okay? In other words, they're so lazy, they just eat and do this. Who's buying it? Kids don't hardly buy nothing. Kids barely got enough money to go to the movies on their own. The same people who create their problems are the people who grow up and be like, when you gonna give me a grandchild? When you redo the stuff I needed to know to pick a quality partner to do that with. Okay? And again, Health is one of those things. Okay, intelligence, having your own money, all of these are a part, men and women, of helping you stay away from people who are guzzling you or are trying to destiny swap you. Most people who destiny swap you, they don't come as your friend, they come as your love mate. Okay, they're pretending they just want to sleep with you every night. Okay, oh, I love you so much, you so fine, you my dream. Whole time, if you ever find out their real intentions, you gonna see how quick they try to destroy everything you worked for without them, and you gonna realize I have been sleeping with the enemy. Okay, so a lot of people who are got kids and stuff like that, nobody is looking for people and partners more than people with kids, which is crazy because most people are, it's just like this. You're going to get somebody who either wants you to be a parent to their children at your own expense, out of your own pocket, or you're going to get somebody who's evil spirited, who is not a good parent, and because you're choosing them over your kids, they're going to eventually start making you show that you chose them over your kid. Okay, most women cannot handle attention being shared between another woman's seed. So most women ain't coming in and being no stepmama just because. She's usually just somebody who's still on OnlyFans. She's still catering and performing for other people, or she's trying to prove to her ex or his ex that they're not alone. And in doing so, a lot of your biological kids are getting tormented by their step parents. Okay, this is why in the wild, before most animals get women pregnant, if you have kids, they attack your kids. So imagine all the people who are forgotten, they are simply mammals too. I don't care how many times you change the creature you are, you still the creature you come from. Okay, you're mammals. And naturally, mammals delete any extra mouths that they don't want to feed. Okay, all the people, she should be under the jail. She had kids, or he had kids he could not afford to feed in his natural nature. Okay, and when you know you can't take care of something, most what they're trying to do is put it out of its misery. But because you've been programmed by people who are pretending they're not mammals, they're something of godly nature, they're the ones judging you for situations they're making you create by not teaching you about educationally about what SMEX is. SMEX was never made to be casual. Casual SMEX creates consistent problems. Okay, it is what it is, and you're welcome to deny that, but truth will always be truth. Okay, truth will always be truth, sugar plum, honey baby. Where did I put it? Give me a second, guys. I don't know where I put. But yeah. But this is also why I let people lie. And if you listen long enough, a lot of the people who be on here, oh, I help celebrities win court cases. Show us which celebrities. Ain't no celebrity paying no biracial with gold teeth, who's fucking 60 years old, to help them with no court case. They'd be better off just paying a grip to make the trigger slip. Ain't nobody finna use you and your fake ass witchcraft. Honey, I said no to the industry. So, of course, I'm gonna talk my shit. But a lot of y'all need to stop pretending this is your stories, because the industry's gonna kill you for speaking out. I ain't worried about it. Okay? They can meet my snipers all they want to. Okay? I feel like a lot of people don't understand, when you have a throne to protect, you don't care what other people think. You have to protect that throne. And a lot of times people think the throne is money, or you just want people to think you sound better or look better. No one cares about that but people who are gay. Okay, if you get old enough and realize, a lot of y'all go through homelessness and different things, and when you're going through it, you realize your parents don't give a fuck, your grandparents don't give a fuck, they can't afford to give a fuck. So if you ever make it to where you can afford to give a fuck and do stuff differently, you better stop letting people waste your time. Okay, you want to know why people like Cardi B and all these lame ass people, Jaguar Wright, you want to know why they can't act their ages? Because they're childish. They're just childish people who want to say they have kids. In other words, well, I got somebody to tell what to do, so you can't tell me nothing. And none of their kids grow up and be shit. Not one of them. Okay, why? Because the person that raised them, that they come from, are not shit. And a lot of times it's because they're trying to keep the bloodlines who they stole those kids from rising. They take their last names, they take their images, and they run with it. Okay, that's why I say y'all better be careful if you don't have the money to come out the way you want to. Even if you're an artist, do music in your artistry. If you play instruments, do that for yourself. Do that to heal your community. Make stuff that is for you. I promise you, people will remember you as an underground whoever you are before they remember the fakes. They're gonna be like, oh, this is why people remember old Gucci Mane and different. Why? Because the real them used to go through the hood, bless they people. Okay, they might rap about drugs and this and that, but they not only were they multitasking, it was a lot of people whose parents were addicted to drugs. Okay, you don't have a choice if your mama is a crackhead. You don't have a choice if your mama is on heroin and different stuff. And a lot of times they can't control what the parent does. They can just say, hey, let me go put 300 in groceries in this baby house because his mama been on the corner for 2 days. Okay, after a while, this is why people respect people like me more than their own parents. Because if I'm ever able to, and if I see that you're not worth the path they're trying to take you down, you're worth so much more, I'm gonna come in and say how much it costs for you to stay in this hotel for a couple weeks. You said you got a job, right? Okay, call this hotel and see how much it costs to stay here. Okay, and then let me know and call me back. Okay, I'm that person, and you may not ever see me again because you don't need to. A lot of people get comfortable when they have access to people who are blessers. Okay, but that's why you have to bless people and do it off camera without being seen, because most of the people who gonna bless you ain't nan one of them a fake ass celebrity. And most of your fake celebrities, the closest you gonna ever get to seeing them bless people is shit like a fake post that probably is AI. Okay, Terrence Howard donates this to who? We didn't see that. So that's just something that your publicity agent is doing. Okay, your A&R team crafted that and put it out. Okay, I said what I said. You ain't finna see Lotto and fake little mamas, okay, giving out money. That's why they performing so hard. They need more of it to pretend they're stunting on you. Okay, when you ain't trying to stunt on people, you realize that most people are broken. The amount of people who I've tried to help, and a lot of them you could see they're hanging with people who probably finna delete them. Or you want to go to my mom's house with me? You want to, you see they're in those type of positions. And you want to bless them and you can't because a lot of times they don't even know how to receive it. Imagine people wanting to bless you and you thinking about how you can rob them. You thinking about how you can disrespect them or steal their car, okay, or steal their man. This is why a lot of people be watching y'all. Y'all think they be watching y'all because they like y'all. No, a lot of them be trying to steal your stories. And people who try to steal stories, guess what's gonna happen to them? They gonna pretend it's their story, and the celebrities who are watching these live streams and stuff and everything else, they gonna know you're unprotected, and you're gonna be the first person they put on the news. They gonna say, I want to sacrifice these 3 people this week. Okay, for them, they are always choosing numbers, and this is why a lot of them age so bad, have the worst experiences in dating their kids, because of the stuff they do in their shiesty darkness. Okay, this is just a fact, and this is why they don't like you either. Okay, they're shiesty. Okay, when I started understanding how many celebrities we really knew in my family, I was like, damn, we know a lot of celebrities, and I don't trust none of them. Okay, they be up there, oh, I remember you since you was a little girl. I bet you do, bitch, but you ain't done shit for us, so you might be the problem. You might be the one trying to fucking curse us. And a lot of times it is. That's why they always be like, oh, I want to invite you to this show. I got invited to it was like a fashion show in California. And I was like, ooh, this is nice. But it was so weird because it's the neighborhood I went to is the same neighborhood where Lil Wayne and a couple other people live. And I don't care what y'all say, it's a sex trafficking neighborhood. Okay, all of those celebrities that live, I'm not gonna even say it, all of the celebrities that live in that neighborhood, all of them be posted up with little kids and teenagers. I don't care if they're 45, 50, they be up there posted up with a 10-year-old. And you be like, who 10-year-old is this? Is this their niece, their nephew? No, it is somebody's kid they are fucking on. Okay, or they done stole, or they gonna use that child and then pass them to the next celebrity. It's not anything that's secret, it's an open secret. Okay, so if you are a person who is spiritually inclined to understand the balance and differences between adults and children, I will never be okay with watching people take the innocence away from kids who don't understand. You look up to this person, but this person is taking something from you that they're gonna disrespect you over later. And this is what most women and men are going through. People who took your innocence at a young age, and as you get older, you're trying to prove your innocence because you didn't ask for it to be taken away. Okay, a lot of people are not just giving away smecks. It was the fear in you that made you even give in. Okay, in other words, if I don't do this, you might tell my mama, or I might get a beating, or you might tell my cousins, or whatever. A lot of people were literally catcalled more as kids than as adults. The amount of men who were in my face when I was 10 years old, 8 years old, 12 years old, and the older you get, the more they stray away, because most of them are assuming when they meet you as older women, somebody has already done you like they have done so many other people before. Take your innocence. So the older you get, this is why they say you hit the wall. We fucked on you for free our whole lives. We not wifing that. We want your daughter. This is what they want. This is why men are always saying shit like, I'm fucking on somebody's daughter. They're literally letting you know they don't even want people their ages. This is why they half of the men who are still trying to be rappers, half of the women still trying to be rappers. They just want to take advantage of younger people who look up to them in an unnatural way. Because if they can get you young, everything else that comes from that, they're gonna be using you for that. Okay, they're after they use you and take your innocence, they'll remind you your whole life what they took from you. You ain't shit. I fucked on you. I did this with you. I did that with you. Look at people like Sukiyana. Girl, how much ass you gotta eat to get your bills meet, Suki? Okay, bitch, get the fuck out of here. That ain't no fucking fly girl life. That ain't no rich bitch shit. Okay, that's low level, selling yourself on the corner streetwalker shit. Okay, girl, bye. You on the blade. Out of here. Okay, they be picking these motherfuckers off the blade. For a lot of y'all who don't know, when I worked in strip clubs, they actually had strip clubs just for trannies. People like Cardi B come from strip clubs that were known for having trannies as strippers. Okay, that's why they titties, one nipple pointing to the left, one nipple pointing, okay, to God. They're trannies who got bootleg titty jobs and everything else, and they're trying to shit on people who really aren't worth shitting on. Okay, as ran through as most of these people are, the amount of stuff they've done in their bad karma, these people couldn't shit on you if they tried. A lot of times, you just being you and being in good energy, and even if you're poor, okay, you still are more of a flex. And this is why a rich person would choose you before they choose a Cardi B. They have to pay people to pretend they want them. Could you imagine that? You gotta pay somebody to pretend they like you when you do all this work to be famous. Ooh wee. Okay, nobody care about that. Because if it was real, baby, you'd be somewhere enjoying that shit behind the scenes. But this is how a lot of women don't understand. Only men are flashy like this. Men need to be flashy. As a woman, to protect yourself for real, if you know you got energy worth protecting, you have to be humble a lot of times. You have to walk in the room and not say nothing. Because just saying something might bring the wrong person. You might have said it too nice. Okay, your voice is too sensual and seductive. Okay, a lot of times I have to go in rooms and I have to look, because when you are a siren, most people are in love with your voice itself. You ain't even got to be singing. They like the tone and the dialects that happen and fluctuations in your voice. People who don't have this, it's usually because they're not a siren, meaning their voice doesn't heal people. Okay, people know when you have the octaves and range in your voice to make a motherfucker sit down, to make somebody get up and pray, to make somebody go do something they don't want to do. Okay, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Okay, in other words, you come in with a good attitude, a person who don't like to work, okay, they're like, oh, you seem so nice, you want me to go get this from the back for you? Okay, that type of energy. Okay, whole time anybody else come in, they gonna sit there and be like, if you need help, ma'am, I'm over here, and they gonna go back to texting and looking at TikTok. Okay, certain energy makes you sit up and say, oh hi, you're here. You don't have to be known for that. People who need to be known, it's because their energy is so minuscule. Okay, the flex is the fact that y'all don't understand they ain't shit. That's their only flex. If y'all knew how ain't shit I was, wouldn't none of y'all buy my album. Okay, all they albums flopping. Okay, they always flopped. After a while, the only people that support them are the people who ain't got no damn money. Okay, all the hood girls, okay, riding through the hood, finna go through a drive-by because they copying you. Okay, type shit. Okay, this is why men will be like, man, you fine, but your attitude, but your, yes, because it's ugly. It's a bad spirit, and it's a gay man's spirit. Okay, and you welcome to ask your questions. If you come in here asking dumb shit, I just ignore it, baby. Okay, because I'm assuming you're a child or you're not in America. And a lot of y'all be in American business because you want to pretend you're the face of it. There are more people trying to wear your face and pretend that they understand your problems than y'all will ever understand. Okay, if they can make you think they like you, oh hi from India, bitch. What video of India have you seen people go to India and are received well as black people? Hell, even as white people. Go find a video where you walk through as an American and they're not mugging you, looking like they want to stone you in the street. Okay, I'm not flexing or acting like I like anybody more than I do and more than your countries actually like my essence. Okay, online and this Black Mirror does not change that. They willing to attach to whoever they see gets more attention and pretend, oh, I like you. Follow my channel too. Okay, as soon as you follow them, they done unfollowed you. Okay, they're adults are childish. They're still competing for attention they never got or attention they never will get because you're not working or have the talents to be seen. A whole cycle of people who won't admit the reason why music sucks is because people who have no talent are the ones pretending they're the talent scouts. Okay, they'll have Randy Jackson, Nicki Minaj, and Simon Cowell, okay, on a stage talking about they judging somebody. And ain't none of us gonna go buy either one of their albums. Bitch, you can't sing. Why are you judging singers? Okay, you can't even rap. You had a ghostwriter. Okay, and all your shit was literally, a lot of the people y'all like, they're schizophrenics. So imagine y'all literally telling the world schizophrenic tones and undertones excite me. Doja Cat, Nicki Minaj, all they're schizophrenics who let you know we don't have sense, we don't have a basic train of thought. Our train of thought is whatever comes to our head at the moment, and it's usually sexual. They're willing to pretend they're gay and all sorts of things. But if you look hard enough, you'll understand why most of those people don't get rich people in the industry. They go get someone who is infatuated with them, even if that person does them wrong. Okay, most of them aren't dating other celebrities. They date unknown people because the unknown people got more clout than them. Just like Cardi B is doing. Nobody gives a fuck because you're Cardi B. They want to know who it is you're with. And because certain people are like, oh, I'm a soccer player for, shut up. Okay, they can say anybody's a soccer player and put them in pictures with these people. A lot of these people be people they find off the streets and willing to pay them. And before you know it, they'll disappear too. Okay, high value men are not seeking out low value baby mamas, and that's the image these trannies are trying to push to you. Even after being ran through and this and that, having kids, they're pretending to you as women you can still get this by being that. What you're going to get is somebody who's going to put you in a body bag as soon as you realize they're not what you were looking for. And they're trannies who have the protection. A lot of them can avoid that, and a lot of them are aggressive men, so they'll be just like Megan the Stallion, okay, and Tory Lanez. Okay, that's a big nigga. Okay, I don't care how much Ozempic these folks be on, they features always scream nigga. You don't know because a lot of y'all are trapped in RuPaul's Drag Race in real life. Okay, it is what it is. I'm gonna show you some of my pictures with certain people. This is how I knew that Gucci Mane and different people, I knew Gucci was gone because Gucci Mane used to come to me actually for rituals and protection. And this is what I used to do for certain people, especially people who made money underground, but they were doing it so they could have their communities together because their communities were being taunted and plagued by violence. So a lot of times you have to fight that with being who your community needs you to be. Okay? So imagine when I realized this, and after a while, if I didn't get certain phone calls and different things, I would already know what's up. But I remember when I got a email. I didn't email Gucci Mane. Me and Gucci, okay, and I really should just say Roderick, okay, Rod. Us and Rod, we it was mostly like, you know, oh, you got this? Okay, well here's 4,000 because this is the best weed in the city. Okay, it was more of those things. But when they realize who you are, they ask about their indigenousness. Okay, like damn, for real, you'll teach me a little of that. I need that anyway. So after a while, you meet people and realize you're not even a bad person. You have to put on this guise so people don't take what you have or what you're trying to build. Okay, and this is how hookers and sluts come into the picture, because they're the only ones who are gonna come in and take what you have in order to give it to another nigga who they know can't get it on their own, which is what Cardi B and other people are doing. They're working hard and they're hoeing. They're working the strip. Okay, they're still on the blade, just in a different environment than you, honey. This is why Sukihana said, all rap bitches sell pussy. They do, because they're men in drag. Period. I said what I said. That's why a lot of women who think they're going to be rappers, oh, baby, they knock you off before you even get a chance to do an on the porch interview. Okay? You won't even get there. But women aren't understanding that. When you go through a certain level, I understood that when, as soon as they offered me a contract, the contract sounded good to me, because I was like, shit, $4 million, okay, for 2 albums? Shit. Okay, don't mind if I do. But it was what came with that. Changing my image into gayness, doing videos, and every other video they wanted me to be kissing a bitch in the mouth and shit. You ain't finna herpy me, okay? Because I'm gonna beat that bitch just like Chris Brown beat Rihanna. Beat they ass, okay? So no, I'm not doing it. I don't want that smoke. I don't want them problems, and you can't bring them to me, okay? After a while, you realize they give you the options, they give you the deals, but it's what you have to do. And a lot of people who are willing to do that, not realizing it's going to taunt you your whole rest of your life, they're the people who like, shit, I act gay. Okay, look how many studs. Look at Princella the dude maker. Okay, they come out pretending to be whatever they need to be to get an audience, and then they show you who they really are. They're narcissistic pedophiles who just want access to younger people who don't take them seriously. Because most young people are like, why would I want somebody your age if you can't do nothing for me that I can't do myself? Okay, it's because they still need you, just like your parents needed you and were expecting shit from you. A lot of them didn't give you. Most of these older people who like age don't matter, age is absolutely more than a number. Okay, the only people it doesn't matter for are people that have enough money. They're just trying to make sure they're with the right bloodlines. Okay, past that, they'll let their 18-year-old son date your 14-year-old daughter if y'all both come from a good home and this and that. Because a lot of times your kid's gonna do it anyways. Most 14-year-olds don't want a 22-year-old. Most 12-year-olds don't want the 23-year-old woman. It's the 23-year-old woman who's still dressing like she's 16 that even gets their attention. Okay, in other words, damn, your titties way bigger than the girls in my grade. Okay, like you're trying to show them themselves, but at your age. Okay, like no, that's why I say a lot of y'all are still clapping for bitches who need to grow up and mature, but they can't. They don't have enough class, and they definitely don't got enough money. Okay, past a certain point, money cannot buy you class, and every day certain people keep proving why they're online watching you more than living their life. And I'm going to say again, for those of you who like to repeat my content, you better be careful, because the only thing you're going to attract are celebrities who want to knock you off because they think that you're saying you're competition to them. They know I'm competition to them. And the same people will still have to reach out to my connects to even get a hit song. Okay, Lizzo, hit me up, bitch. All your shit been flopped. Okay, go ahead and pay the fee, bitch, and get you some motion. Okay. You know we love for y'all to have the attention. Just give us the money. We cool. We like the people we fuck with in real life. So we ain't gotta just be like, look at my awards. Okay, look at my girl, fuck y'all. When you ready for your next summer banger, Lizzo, you come hit me up, lame hoe. Okay. And the rest of them, and I can talk. I don't think a lot of y'all understand. I've been knowing a lot of these people since I was younger, and a lot of them are so much older than y'all think they are. So past a certain point, it's like talking to a child who forgot how old they are, because they forget you're not really 38, bitch. You're like 47. Okay, you a real definition of I can almost call you grandma, bitch. Okay, stop it. And I know certain people have different dynamics in their families. Like, it's a lot of people in my family, they have kids later. So they kids don't really have nobody their ages. Like, they cousins that they hang out with, they could be like 3 years old, but all they cousins already 12 years old, 14. So you come in and give them love like a child. But as they get older, you're still the people they're watching and want to be like. So it's literally like that. When you see these people like, damn, bitch, you been out here like Ashanti. Bitch, you been out here singing these same 3 songs for 20 years. How much work and effort does it take to go home and write some new music? They can't because they're talentless. Most of the people who give them their biggest hits, they've knocked them off because they don't want that person to pass them. And just like that, they're stunted because they be like, damn, I like that, but it's not really what I'm looking for. No, because the only thing you were looking for is taking the image of the person they knocked off. If a celebrity doesn't want to knock you off, they gonna come on here and let you pretend you're them all they want. Like Shira Seven, she knows she led a whole bunch of people to getting deleted and still doing it to this day. If you want money, if you want money, why are you online instead of spending a nigga's money, Shira? Because I'm not going to be on here for 10 hours talking about shit that you don't even talk about with your own kids. Okay, if you look at Shira Seven kids, almost every time they on that camera, they look like, bitch, what you lying about now? Every time you see them, okay, they look frustrated and stressed. Okay, and kids who are happy because they mama getting money, most of them kids are kids that have so much personality and pizzazz. But this is what happens when your moms want your youth, even as you age. A lot of girls in your youth, you be busted and people be wanting to date your moms. Same thing with young guys. A lot of young guys, they be busted in their youth. They have to get older and realize somebody set me on a different path. And as you grow up, you realize it's not your job as a child to get yourself out of your head. That's what you've been giving parents for. If your parents don't teach you, hey son, hey daughter, I know you've been going through this. I don't know if it's school, whatever. Let's go walking. I got you a gym membership. I want you to enjoy life. I want you to enjoy your body. While you're only going to be 16 once. You're only going to be 21 once. Your parents do not give a fuck about y'all, okay? Because they will go to church and spend $60 every week just to give it to the pastor, and they need that shit to be advancing you, and you're the only thing that's close enough to them that's the investment's going to return. Okay, but this is what your parents don't understand. In the name of not knowing themselves, not loving themselves, and not loving you, they are still playing both sides, and they're getting the results from it too, which are broken families, and you're never able to see all of your generations in one room. And this is something that you are given the blessing of, regardless of your race and ethnicity. Every race is supposed to at least see 4 to 5 generations in one room all the time. That's who you're working for. That's who you're building for. That's who you passing shit down to. So imagine when you're at a point where people don't even want kids anymore because you don't even know why you would have them outside of just having them. You can't even trust the people you're having kids with because half of them going only want kids so they can have a reason to be around teenagers. Okay, they want to mess with somebody's kids. When y'all get through, a lot of these men want kids so they have a reason to be around somebody else's kid. They may not do it to their own, but a lot of people do not watch their kids. A lot of people don't feed their kids properly. So if you're a good woman and you be like, what you mean they don't eat? Well, tell them to come over here. They can eat over here, and then we'll take them home. Okay? A lot of these kids come to your house, they gonna be the one trying to sleep with your husband because all they know is struggle. Okay, all they know is struggle. So if they feel like you got something they want, and a lot of y'all spouses and partners are crooked, they will sleep with a 14-year-old for 6 years straight, and then when they get older, they will go take that child out because that child still won't leave them alone, and they done found other victims. Okay, in other words, a lot of y'all don't watch y'all kids. That's why when women get online, watch me cook dinner. Watch, bitch. Don't nobody gotta watch you do what people have been doing before technology was there to record it. Okay, and your mom, grandmamas and them was cooking way better than the shit and slop and processed mess y'all cooking. Get offline. You should be embarrassed of cooking nothing more than processed shit when you should be able to work hard enough. You should afford the better things to cook for your kids. Okay, and instead you want the attention from people who ain't giving you shit. They barely giving you views, and a lot of these people, they're buying their views. That's why I tell people I don't give a damn if I got one person in the chat, 3 people. When I'm channeling, and that's my choice. And if you call that witchcraft, that's cool, but everybody don't have enough ether and enough connection with the ether to channel 2 people in a live chat. Okay, let alone 200 or anything else. The algorithm gives you fake attention when they know that if you actually listen to the real people, you will be the people who get turned out by truth. Okay, so if you are not talking about shit, the algorithm gonna send you 200 people in your live stream, and just like that, you done forgot the whole plot. You forgot why you on here. You here to connect with your tribes, your community. Everybody else got their own. Okay, they didn't already push their hierarchy. They didn't already use colorism, texturism, everything isms to get where they are. Everything else is nothing more than you giving them stuff to plagiarize. Once you remember that, a lot of y'all will shut up and stop trying to show people what you working with. They know what you working with. That's why they took you as a prisoner of war in their country. They've been knowing who y'all are since they kidnapped y'all ass and then said, give us our last name. So if anything ever happens and they get famous, our names get famous too. Okay, if your last name is McGregor, your last name is Williams, okay, it was somebody who wasn't your race that usually gave you that name, okay, and everything you do with that name, they're still getting, ooh, my last name Williams too. Ooh, this is what they do. Okay, they don't care if you're a different race. They know where you got your fucking history and your names from. And most black people did not name themselves. Y'all better stop listening to them lies. You didn't name your damn self, and them not the names you would have came up with at a time where your literacy was not the same. It is time. And again, I appreciate who was it? Chris. Thank you, Chris, for coming in and donating in the chat. I am forever grateful. Y'all know most of that's gonna go back to you guys. So if you ever want to come here and and love on each other, love on each other. Okay, y'all can come talk in the chat. You never know who you need to have interactions with. And I'm not against nobody doing nothing. Okay, if what you want is a love that is unable to be tampered with, I want you to have that for yourself. Okay, if you don't got the money to donate, okay, I don't care. Come in and have the conversation. That conversation is more important than the money. Money has long lost its value. So at some point you need to understand sometimes the conversations you need to have, money don't need to be the center of it. Sometimes that's how you realize if you're going in the right direction, when you can have human interactions and godly interactions in human form. Okay, and most of that doesn't include stuff. It includes aura, frequency, and something called aspinity. Okay, they changed that to the word omnipotent. Okay, so I'll let you figure that out. For those of you who consider yourself scholars or intellects, you're more than welcome to look into that yourself. But for those of you who tune in because you enjoy the conversation, I thank you so much. I am forever grateful. Even the people who come here looking for content to talk about it. Because a lot of times having the conversation is enough to show you who really like you and who is really gonna hate you when you get into your mode of glowing up. And for most people, the glow up is not outside, it's your inside. Once your inside starts to glow, you ain't gonna eat the same stuff. You're not gonna buy the same stuff. You're not gonna want it. The same places aren't gonna excite you. The same people aren't gonna excite you. And that is how you know you're growing. And you have grown because you have outgrown certain places, certain things, certain people. And that's just the place I was at. Trying to work with industry people, it was the most depressing thing because I realized they're all insecure and most of them are way less talented than they present. Without auto-tune mics and all this other stuff, most of them sound like a homeless person on the street who don't have no talent. Okay, look at French Montana coming out with no auto-tune. Okay, that shit sound like somebody who ain't made it out the hood yet and don't realize they probably ain't gonna never make it out because this should be something you do for fun, not for seriousness. Okay, but this is what happens when they tell you rapping and talking on a beat is a gift. And this is why when we come from generations of singers, all your gangsters and stuff, oh baby, they was singing the Temptations and then hitting the block. Do you hear me? They was spinning the block and playing some Ronald Isley on your ass. That's why a lot of them could still go home and say, no women, no kids, no this and that. Now you live in a time where they have taken that element out of everything. So there's no real gangsters left. If it was, most of them will be speaking out against all this damn homosexuality and everything else that exists. They're not, because most of them is banging, butt banging these people too. Okay, I try to tell women, you ain't got no friends for real. Okay, when they say life is a bitch, most of these men's life evolve around you not having time to live yours. Okay, and it's only certain things they can do to distract you from that, and one of them is a child, and the second one is marriage. And men who really want to marry you, they're going to put you in a position to where you don't want for nothing. If you need a car, he's going to help you get it. If you need, okay, to go to school so that you can make the money you need in your career, he's going to make sure he's working enough hours that you're not stressed while you're going to school. He's not going to put more on your plate. Okay, if he's trying to build a dynasty, he's going to work with you like he's trying to build a dynasty. Okay, most men ain't trying to be with somebody and leave they shit to somebody else. Okay, they're working usually to leave that to certain people, and a lot of people who ain't never worked for nothing other than scamming. Okay, we're all y'all scamming ass. Okay, certain people will never work hard enough to not have to scam, and it's mostly the people in the industry. And after a while, they can't even hide to you that they're the scammers. Okay, they're the scammers. Okay, because if most of y'all touch the money y'all say y'all want to see, okay, when I finally touched the money I wanted to see, I didn't care what nobody had to say about me. You could call me ugly, you could call me fat, you can call me whatever you want to. The same people usually couldn't afford to live in my neighborhood. The same people did not have the same spiritual inclination and relationship I had with myself, my ancestry. Okay, I tell a lot of people that they forget. A lot of you guys, it works two ways. You're either a spirit from the past, or you're a spirit from the future that has been put in the timeline of people who are acting like they are in a different dimension, and they're not. You know that you're on a different brain wave and you're further than them mentally. Okay, because they are still doing past things, pretending it's in future tense. Like, this is just how we dress now. This is just how we act now. No, they're not. They're old spirits who are going along with the fake change. And a lot of you guys are old souls, but you're not old from here. Okay? You need to understand what old really means. Old can be two different things. Old can be ancient, and old can be futuristic, because if you're futuristic, everything you think about and bring to light, okay, is different from people who are ancient. They don't understand futuristic old, because most of them never make it to the future. They will forever live in the past and they will pass away there. And when they come back, they're going to come back to that same dimension every time, because usually the people they pair with, they have to think like them, dress like them, like how they move. Okay, they never really level up to futuristic spirits, and futuristic spirits don't want people who are stuck in the past that is not theirs. Okay, so all these trans and different people, I feel like they're letting you know they're from the past, and they ain't never stop trying to stand in other people's places. They never will. Futuristic people understand, I don't have to be what you are to be me. Okay, when people say do you, okay, this is why I be laughing, because people forget we come from a time where you used to say, watch me do me. Okay, now everybody's watching you do me, but they're claiming they're doing them. Okay, in other words, watch me do you. Okay, they change time so quickly and so abruptly. People who are futuristic become depressed because they understand you're moving us backwards in reality. Okay, and if you're moving the reality backwards, the people are going to go more backwards. Okay, so if you are ever a futuristic soul and not an ancient soul, and some people you're a combination of both depending on who your parents are, you're going to know which one you are. Okay, certain things of the old, they entice you or they rub you differently, and things that have not come to pass yet are the things that usually you are most concerned with, because you're from the future. So anything that would affect your future, okay, when you're futuristic, are the things you focus on. If you're someone from the past, all you can talk about is fucking slavery and this and that. Okay, and and it becomes well, go be a slave then, because it sounded like you was more satisfied as a slave than understanding how to spend your time as a free person. Okay, people who miss slavery, oh, they always, why we can't do this and we can't. You can do it. Why aren't you doing it? Because you don't have enough like-minded people to do it with. That's why. Okay, realize the people who are trying to keep you a slave with them. And most of them are your celebrities. Most of them are your clowns and minstrels. The people who 40, 50, look at, what's his name? King Schuler. Okay, most of these people be somebody granddaddy still talking about, I'm the next Bernie Mac. We ain't gonna never have another Bernie Mac. Be yourself, nigga. Okay, they want to be famous for pretending to be other people, and that's why the industry sees them and unsees them at the same time, because we've already had somebody do you, and you can't do them better than them. That's why we took them out. Okay, the industry take you out when they know you're futuristic. In other words, your shit gonna be around forever. It don't matter if it's 40 years from now. Okay, you still gonna be saying the same shit I do. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. Okay, and that's how it goes, because the only people they keep around are people that's scary. pretending they not. Because when they realize you ain't scared, okay, they know that come from the future. Because everybody they that are from the past for real, they still scared of them. Well, in our past, you did this to us. Do it to me. Okay, do it to me and watch how quick I beat you. It's a difference. And a lot of people think beatings are physical. The best beatings you could give are spiritual. Because them the ones they ain't coming up from. They gonna have to smoke the whole ounce thinking about what you just told them. Okay, god damn, that was some shit I ain't never felt. Okay, a spiritual beating is much worse than a physical beating. That's why people who ain't got spiritual sense are always trying to whoop you physically, take stuff away from you physically, brag to you about what you don't have physically. But if you ever fuck around and get your physical and your spiritual aligned and they can't take nothing from you, at that point the only thing waiting for you is to see how they're going to approach you with death. Okay, death approaches you naturally, and death doesn't come to give you a harsh experience. But you know when the experience is from the devil because it comes harshly. Death is peaceful. Okay, death don't want you to feel a thing, don't even understand it didn't happen. Death is so chill. You gonna be dead and being like, man, this is fun. This is, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta get back home. And then death gonna have to tell you, baby, you gone. This is your home now. I just had to help you through it because you didn't understand you passed away, baby. Okay, the stuff you felt there, okay, you don't feel that here. But what you feel are the attachments you created in that realm, okay, to stuff or people, okay. So then they gonna have to do you like the ghost of Christmas past, Gesundheit, and they gonna have to show you where you came from and who was playing the whole time. Okay, at that point you gonna realize death ain't got no smoke with you. Okay, I'ma tell death ain't got no smoke with you. The only person who is going to make death a certain experience for you, okay, is karma. Okay, karma and death are best friends, and karma is death's messy best friend. Okay, that's why she be like, girl, you know when he was 28, he was messing with a fucking 7-year-old. Yes, he was. Let me show you, death. Okay? It's that simple. Let me show you. Let me take you back and show you through their eyes what they created in energy that never leaves. Okay? The person who taught you to see is the person who taught you to be judged. Because at one point, you were supposed to be a shadow doing what you do. Now you're walking through the valley of the shadows. Okay? When you become your shadow, you'll understand what I mean. But most people ain't ready to do that because that means you got to stop trying to be seen by people with false light. Because they the only ones who gonna make you become a shadow anyway. If they do it in your presence, they're waiting to do it in your spiritual reality too. And this is why they take your language. This is why your knowledge perverts you. As soon as I read thy knowledge pervert thee, I stopped and said, well, who the fuck wrote this? Okay? When you are inclined intellectually, after a while, you be like, well, that applies to all, not just a portion. But there's so many people be like, but God said, but God. How can someone who can't see how much fucked up the world is because you don't know? Okay? If the world keep getting more messed up, it ain't because you know and because who you praying to is helping. You need to stop praying. But the praying they're doing is P-R-E-Y. Okay? They're praying. Okay, they're going to and fro. It don't matter what country they need to disappear into and say, I'm a Canadian. Okay, I'm from London. Okay, I'm from wherever. Okay, they go wherever they need to go, put on that identity and destroy that land everywhere they go. America was one of the many places that had a little bit of hope. And a lot of people forgot that after 9/11, you were pretty much putty in Iran and everybody else who fucks with Iran's team. You are putty in their hands. So all them people who come in your chats talking, if a lot of y'all could read right to left like you're meant to read, and y'all actually see what these people come in your chat saying, you would understand why so many of their women are not allowed to leave the house. They are the people who really are behind a lot of demonic things, and they sacrifice the most children in the world. That's why every sex trafficker starts with these places, and America comes last, because a lot of times they'll be like stranger danger, okay? And in certain countries, they make their kids learn how to perform for older people. Go look up the dancing boys of Pakistan. Okay, don't come. You can't play with me too much. When I started doing certain things, I remember I had a show I was supposed to be choreographing. I was choreographing this dance for some kids, and when I grew up, I used to do like a lot of dancing and stuff too. But I danced for Kirk Franklin. Yes, Kirk Franklin, the gospel singer. He had hip hop dance groups that were his background dancers. Okay, so in a lot of his songs where you see those kids, he got those kids from dance studios and paid those dance studios because he did not want to go deal with people who were actually at churches and things like that. That's not what he was looking for. So a lot of the people that they would be with all day would be people's kids. You know, they didn't know them. Okay, if I'm working at like, say we are supposed to be here for 6 hours practicing these dances, they're gonna feed us, our parents are not allowed to stay, they have to drop us off and leave. A lot of the kids who would get dropped off, Kirk Franklin and other people will be taking those kids and chilling with those kids all day like they grown. In other words, they supposed to be learning the choreography with us. They're supposed to be doing this, supposed to be doing that, and they're riding around in your car. Why are they in your car? They're 10 years old. They're this. And I remember specifically because we were dancing for the TSU homecoming. Okay, the TSU homecoming. And if you remember that, if you were from Tennessee, you most of the time we remember stuff like this. Okay, so imagine when you realize they're taking kids' innocence right in your face, and we had to do auditions in front of them. We did auditions, and they would be judging our bodies. Oh, I like that, baby. Oh, how old are you? Okay, you got a few more years. Okay, and then everybody's laughing. But as a child, you instantly become uncomfortable because you understand that's not a feeling that you're supposed to feel from people you're taking direction from. And at the time, I was supposed to be 13 years old to dance with them. And at that time, I was only 11. And my birthday was like a week away. And he was like, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 11. And he was like, you got to be 13. You got to be 13 to be with this group. And he was like, but you did so good. They divided us up into groups, like 7 or 8, gave us numbers and made us dance and compete for the position of if we got on the stage or not. So he was like, you're 11? You don't look 11. Your body definitely don't look 11. Okay, he tapping on other guys and shit who are older teenagers and his age, okay, things like that, and be like, how about this? Because this is my show. I choose who I want, and I want you on the stage. And that is the only reason I danced for Kirk Franklin at the TSU homecoming, because he's a pervert, and most of them are perverts. It's not because they want to give you opportunity. A lot of them do not choose between the regular black kids or Christians. They will never look at you. You are only there to support them. They are not here to support you. This is why he can do a song with Glorilla, but he ain't gonna do no songs with other artists. A lot of them will come listen to me and try to create scenarios after the fact, like Terrence Howard. Okay, if y'all go check out Terrence Howard thinks he's a me. But this is what happens when you're a bitch. You're not a man. You ain't got no pee-pee. Okay, you ain't got no penis down there, Terrence. Okay, Teresa. Wow, take me. Okay, take me. Okay, come take me out. Okay, past a certain point, it's funny because women will always be women, and most women stand in each other's way. And men know how much you do it. That's why even past whatever level of celebrity they get to, they still can't stop following them real ass women. When they say it's a drought on real niggas, no, it's not. We are the real niggas. That's why we can tell when it's a lot of fake shit going on around people who are not women. As a woman, it's hard enough by yourself. But if you ever get a little tribe of women and y'all understand, the most we do is giggle, okay, at the fact of how many men and other people don't realize we know who you are and what you are. And we are amused, but ever so slightly, okay? Because again, they spend their whole life trying to be her, and they can't, which is why they need the image through the media. Okay, when social media came, y'all have to understand these people already had their image and their titles and their awards and fake accolades and praise from people. People was gonna go watch Hustle and Flow and all this shit regardless. Okay, they gonna go watch The Little Mermaid regardless. But this is what happens when in real life you get treated average as a woman. Okay. This is why they have to be extraordinary in how they try to present themselves. And a lot of them, again, are nothing more than biracials who let you know they will always be your Rosa Parks. Okay, while you're fighting and doing the most to preserve yourself, what are they doing? Okay, watching people like me. Imagine women who are trying to beef with me. Bitch, it ain't hardly nothing but celebrities who come here and copy me. And before you know it, you're going to hear me say something, and you're going to hear somebody that has 500,000 or 43 million people following them say the same thing. They spend all day watching the real ones. So if you think you're chosen like you think you are, you better be careful, and you better start making and using your craft to push the frequency of the ether, because they don't care about you trying to be found. They want to be your lost and found, all right. And you going to get found and you going to get lost. I'm just letting you know. Okay, money makes you forget who you are if you ain't ever had it. Okay, that's why the best thing you could ever do is make sure you get your shit together and spend and splurge and love on you. Okay, after a while, you're gonna be like, why did I buy that? Oh, that was so. Learn yourself so can't nobody else help you learn you. That's all I'm saying. Okay, when I realized, okay, tell Beyonce to come do a ritual with me. You can't and you ain't. Okay, gonna sit your tranny ass down too. They're not. Okay, and the thing is, money doesn't scare people with money either, and it also doesn't stop you from getting touched. So certain people know who to play with and who not to play with, because they still need certain families and their bloodlines and imperfect intactment for them to do what they're doing. We are the people they learn from. We are the people they mimic their occultism from. We are the people they steal from and pretend we're Creole and this and that. Shut up. You don't speak another language. The only language you know is follower and demonizer. Okay, what you need me to push, what symbol you need me to hold up. Okay, they're slow. They're people who can't think for themselves. And anytime you present as somebody who can't think for yourselves, the world and the industry, regardless of which industry you get in, is going to show the world how much of a person of non-free will you are. Okay, man, they on that shit too. They've been on that shit. Okay, what do you mean? They've been said if they ever gave me a chance to eat this person's booty, okay, they gonna go do that shit with flying colors. And then after they're degraded, okay, and embarrassed, the whole industry is gonna see them and be like, they're not understanding. Everybody in the industry has seen you do that on video. Okay, real definition of it be personal to them. That's why they always trying to prove after their humiliation rituals. See, y'all, it's a lot of phone companies and stuff you're not allowed to use as regular citizens. But when you start climbing that ladder of fake success, or real success, if that's what real success is to you, you are not on the same apps. You have apps that only celebrities can get. You can only get in these apps if you prove you have an income of over 500,000 and above. Yeah, them type of apps. Okay, and guess what? You see some shit on them apps that you would be like, oh my goodness, ain't that the woman from The Hangover? Ain't that the, yes, baby, you gonna be up there like, oh my goodness, this is the real tea. And everyone pays enough money, they still don't usually exploit that to the public because it's a higher secret. Okay, when you know higher secrets, this is why some people get sacrificed. You don't understand why. Some of them be watching humiliation rituals, but that they'll be doing stuff with people's husband. They'll be doing stuff with somebody's child. Okay, if they, Will Smith might see one of his kids, quote unquote, with somebody else in the industry who he worked on a film project with 25 years ago, doing freaky stuff with his child. Okay, but you ain't gonna go tell the public that, because this is stuff they have agreed to behind the scenes. It's like some real mafia, okay, P Valley type of, y'all don't understand. Okay, the industry sells the people within the industry too. Okay, they're not off limits. Everything can be sold. If you are alive and can make some money, you got a price to be sold at. And if the industry tells you they want you to date this person for 6 months and create memories and do this and do that, a lot of them would afford the budget. They're gonna push the publicity of y'all being seen together, this and that. Whole time it is somebody else's humiliation ritual because it's their real child. The amount of people who give these celebrities kids and they use the people's kids to taunt them. Well, the whole world knows your child as Taylor Swift. So what would happen if little such and such went through this? It would be tragic, wouldn't it? But nobody knows this is your child because they think Taylor's parents are this and that. Okay, they take your kids, they force you to be breeders, and they taunt you with the fact that your kids are usually longing to be in a spotlight that's going to get them tortured. Okay, they're being tortured in the light, and you guys still don't understand that. That's why none of them are really happy, and it's always the same images they're pushing. Okay. So again, y'all tune in. Okay, tune in, get your knowledge. Okay, tune in and learn how to become abundant. Because again, all these people who claim they're witches, tell them bitches how to get some money. Because most of them are on here lying in the name of broke. Okay, if they was really doing what they say, they could come on here and tell the truth just like I do. But they can't. They're not high enough, and they never will be. Okay, so again, all these Jaguar rights and stuff like that, they're still in on the industry too. They don't have a choice. Okay, so tune in. We're going to have the conversation a little bit later, but the conversations we're going to have later are also going to have lots of enlightenment. We're going to talk a little bit more about gematria, understanding it. For those of you who understand that you have a birth date, you also need to understand you have a death date, and you were made to know the date you pass away so that you know the time schedule they have put you on. Okay, you are on demon time, a lot of people, and it's not because of how you think or how you're moving. A lot of people, you just don't understand how you're on demon time. So tune into my next video. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the real time that you're supposed to go by. It's not 24 hours. We're going to show you how a lot of times of your day are actually demon numbers, and at those times are the times in all of the world combined where the most people pass away. Whether it's from car wrecks, pew-pewings, whatever. It usually happens at these specific demon times because they're not actually times. They are demons' numbers, like exactly their numbers. Okay, so we'll talk about it. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Thank you so much for the donations. Y'all enjoy y'all day. Be safe. Love on the people that actually love you. And keep your peace. Stay out the way. It's a lot of things walking around. I'll talk to y'all.